Hello, and welcome to the Weekly Scroll Podcast. My name is Ryan.
And TNT and Key have the same amount of letters.
I'm Marco. I'm from Spicy Tuna RPG. I make greenhorns and a lot of sci-fi stuff. Happy to be here.
And I'm Adam Vass of World Champ Game Co. I am the designer of BLOOD BORG, which we're gonna tap into today, and also excited to be here.
Yeah, look at us. Look at all the excitement we have this early morning.
Also, listen, if you out there, if you can figure out what my sign on was a reference to today, I'll send you a hug
virtually. We should do more giveaways. We used to do giveaways. We should do more giveaways. Anyway,
we're giving away Adam Bass today. Sign up for the giveaway. We'll send them right to you.
Yeah, just for you. We're playing BLOOD BORG. That's what we're here. That's what everything around us says. That's what Adam says. So we're doing this. Very excited. We love the Borgs here on the show, and always love everything that Adam has ever done in their entire life. Go listen to the Brain Trust podcast, everybody. But Adam, tell us about BLOOD BORG. Take it away.
Yeah, BLOOD BORG is a gutter punk urban fantasy. It is obviously a hack of Mork Borg, but it is a standalone, complete game. In it, you play as different types of vampires in this shitty city called Scab that's sort of built over the remnants of past civilizations during which the apocalypse came and went. We all know in Mork Borg, you're sort of counting down to the end of days. Well, it happened, and no one really noticed. All the sinners were brought, or all the sinless were brought to their gods, which of course was very few people. So no one really noticed the apocalypse come and go. And here we are 2,000 years after the setting and events of Mork Borg in the city of Scab. We have these high rises everywhere that block the sunlight so you can walk around most of the time and not worry about sun. At the top of these high rises are the powers that be who have been there for centuries. These other vampires who want nothing to do with you, the little shit stirrers on the bottom of the social totem. So because of that, we live in the gutters. We hang out with our gang and we start bands. We just kind of get by in this filthy sewer rotten kind of way. Today, the three of you are going to be looking for a member of your gang who's gone missing. But before we do that, we're going to make some vampires. So Marco has made a character already, and
Cheater.
Ryan and Hunter, we're going to make yours right now. This is, again, a Mork Borg hack, so you're kind of already familiar with what's about to happen. We're going to start. I'm going to drag my rules over and kind of go through the process with you. We're going to... Do you hear the jackhammer now? There's a jackhammer. It's worse than the saw. I cannot believe
I can't hear it at all.
You're solid. Yeah.
I cannot believe it started an hour ago. We're going to make some characters. So first up, we are going to pick what type of vampire you are. There are 8 in the book, so you would roll a d8 or you would choose. We're gonna cap it at the first 6 today because we're effectively playtesting this game. So I'll have each Ryan and Hunter roll a d6 to choose what your vampire type is. Then as we go through that, it'll give you a little flavor text. It'll ask you a couple questions that you get to roll d6 to find the answers to. It will tell you how much money you have, how much health you have, what your stats are, and what kind of weapon you start with. So, Ryan, let's start with you.
I rolled a 2, but I saw Hunter hold up 2 fingers, so I re-rolled and got a 4.
All right. So number 4 is the masochist. Your taste for blood started long before you were turned into a creature of the night, experimenting with pain and pleasure for years prior to them becoming a means of survival for you. To many, murder is a means of survival. To you, a craft to be studied, an art to be admired, a god to be worshipped. So roll d6 to find out when was the first time you tasted another human's blood.
I rolled a 5.
A kidnapped stranger during escalating torture sessions. So you're a
Good times.
sicko. You're sicko mode.
Sicko mode.
You start with $20. Your health is equal to your toughness plus 8. Just to backtrack, instead of doing the 3d6 table thing, which just never really quite clicked. I had a lot of difficulty with first time role players understanding this.
Yeah, derived stats are weird sometimes.
Yeah. Instead, you get +1 and -2 to assign to whatever your stats. Your stats are the normal Mork Borg: strength, dexterity, presence, and toughness. In fact, if you want to use like a Mork Borg character keeper or something, that actually would probably translate exceptionally well. But you can also just write stuff down. Notebook style. I got my stickies. I'm good to go.
I got my Right in the Rain notebook. Just in case it starts raining in here.
Hell yeah.
Paper will hold
Hell
on.
yeah, paper gang. So yeah, you get a +1 and -2. You can split that -2 into 2 -1s if you'd like. So your HP is going to be equal to your toughness plus 8. Just as a highlight, instead of rolling for your health here, you get what would effectively be the maximum value. So in Mork Borg, toughness plus D8 would be pretty common for health. Here it's just +8 because we're vampires. We've got a little bit more ability to withstand the pain, but that doesn't mean you can't die. And you know, when a vampire dies, it's fucking gonzo. Then as a last note, the masochist is going to get +1 strength in addition to however you distributed your stats before. Are you good with me, or you want to do any? You're all set.
I think I'm good. Yeah, I'll just write all this down. That's pretty straightforward. So you can do Hunter, and I'll get a name and.
Did you do the rest of the masochist? I was just sort of guiding for audience sake. You get to roll d20. You roll a d20 for your starting weapon. I've got the spreadsheet here, so I can just sort of
dope. Okay, well then, yeah,
relay that to you. You have it too if you need it, but I'm happy doing all this stuff.
Yeah, make the note. All right, so a d20 for my starting weapon.
Be a gun, be a gun, be a gun.
16.
16 is a tooth blade. So this is like a plank of wood or a baseball bat that has a bunch of loose teeth glued on it. So it's kind of like a saw blade. It does D10 damage. And then lastly, you get the masochist has 2 special abilities. The first is regrowth. Your ability to heal is advanced beyond basic aid, so you're able to regrow severed digits and limbs at will in a matter of D6 minutes. The second ability is that you're a celebrity. Your name carries fearful legend within both vampire and human circles. They've heard countless rumors about you. One of these 4 is true. So if you want to roll a D4 for me, I'll tell you which one is true.
D4. Roll a 2.
You keep trophies from each of your kills in or on your body.
Sounds about right.
I love how Ryan got the masochist edgelord character.
Yeah.
It honestly couldn't be more appropriate.
If I was a vampire, I just made me, so we're good.
Pick your name, your pronouns. You're gonna roll D100 for your eccentricities and your history. Do you have all that stuff handy? I can kind of leave you to that while I move with Hunter.
Yeah, I can do that. It's just in the back of the doc, right? With the
tables? Yes, that and at the character creation tab on the doc, you also get 2d12. You get these 1 starting item from each column here. In addition to your other shit that you start with.
Got it. Yeah, got it. D12. Okay, cool. You say just 1 from each of those?
1 from A and 1 from column B.
Dope. Okay.
All right, Hunter, let's get a D6 for your type. You said
2.
All right, you're the leech. You've been turned for longer than you care to remember. The blood clogged and clotting in the recesses of your intestines is older than some of the vamps you run with these days. As such, you have an intimate understanding of life after death and the fluids that flow through both. Despite this, you've been cast aside from culture, relegated an elderly hermit without care or purpose, but that you make on your own. D6 for in what historical event did you secretly have a significant part?
5.
The 250 years ago, the excavation of Earth's ichor, the start of the Anthracite era, and the industrial burst.
Hell yeah.
So you're going to get a lot more money to start with than Ryan did. You're
Because I'm
going to roll
ancient.
D10 or 3D10, and then you're going to multiply that by 100, and that's how many dollars you get.
240 big ones, baby.
Then your HP is a little less. It's toughness +4, and you're going to get +1 presence as a leech.
And you said we had -2 and +2 to assign to each stat, right? Like spread out however we want.
-2 and +1.
-2 and +1.
And then in addition to that, you get the +1 presence. So that's like subverts the other math here. Then roll a D6. I'll tell you what your starting weapon is.
Three.
You got a switchblade that does D4 damage. You also start with 2 random spell zines. So I was mentioning just before the stream, this is how magic works in the game. Instead of collecting these ancient dusty tomes and hoarding this information, we have our street level proliferation of information through small press and DIY. So the zines are printed on these shitty stolen copy papers that we find, printed in blood under the moonlight. There's a chance that they dissolve. There's a chance that they contain curses. But for the sake of your starting zines, why don't you give me 2d20 and I'll give you your spells.
I rolled double 2.
Double 2. I'll give you a 1 and a 2, so you have 2 different spells.
Sounds great. Thank you.
The first one is Echo. So this is a difficulty rating of 10. Some spell zines either roll difficulty or you spend blood to cast them. So this one's a difficulty of 10. You use your voice to mimic the voice of someone else or a sound effect, and everyone who can hear you and is not looking at your mouth believes that sound to be real. The second one is Magic Weapon, which costs 2 blood to cast. From your open wounds pours rotten, coagulated blood in the shape of a weapon of your choosing. You cannot drop or lose this weapon. It does D6 damage on hits with an additional D4 rotting damage to anything that's alive. If you are brought to 0 health, it dissolves and you lose all of your accrued blood.
Cool.
Your 2 special abilities, you have a keen sense. After decades of honing your senses your senses are at peak performance. Deliberate hearing or smelling yields interesting insights within a mile around you without checking your stats. And you're also learned, so you've taken advantage of your immortality with countless hours spent studying. You're fluent in 5 foreign languages, and you're an expert on local and national history. So you're just an old hermit bookworm who knows all kinds of shit.
Very cool.
Then, as mentioned, you're going to want to pick your name, your pronouns, and roll D100 for your eccentricities and your history. I will, again, leave you to do that while we move to Marco, who can introduce his character, who has been pre-made, and we can learn one of our vamp friends.
Yeah. Do you want me to say? So I rolled a 6, which was Blackheart.
Cool.
Do you want me to go through it all, or do you want to kind of do the intros if I was rolling now?
Since you already did it, we'll skip the sort of pretense.
Cool.
So you can just introduce your homie to the gang, and by the time you're done, I imagine Ryan and Hunter will have that information, we can kind of dive in.
Perfect. So I'm Blackheart. Real sad, kind of lonely type. Like feeds to survive, but at the same time just does not enjoy immortality. There's like mundane. There's too much mundaneness to it. I miss the simplicity of prior eras. And let's see, I did +1 in strength, -2 in agility, +1 in presence. I have 5 HP. I think I rolled on the right column. I got claws for weapon, D4 damage.
Mm-hmm.
And start with 0 blood. I have a lockpick set and a tattoo gun are the items that I rolled.
That's such a great
are
Blackheart
pretty good.
item. Yeah.
Pretty damn good. My 2 abilities are force teleport. So I can channel inner turmoil and infinite hunger in an outward burst of energy, throwing enemies and items within arm's reach 10 feet away for 1 blood. And then I have a familiar to curve my loneliness. I've grown close to a specter. I can summon at will. It cannot inflict physical harm, and it is a phantasmal form of a happier self.
That's great.
So it worked out really well.
What is your character's name and pronouns so I can
Yeah, I'm
write that
Memo.
down?
Guillermo is like the full name for that, and Memo is like the nickname, just like Spanish version of Bill, and he him are my pronouns.
Great.
And sorry, I was just looking at the other parts of my character, and so I was turned by a magician in what turns out to have not been an illusion.
Great.
Oh, that's so funny.
Let's loop back to Ryan. Did you manage to find everything you were looking for?
Yeah, I'm getting there. The D100 table isn't numbered, so I'm just counting down on
Shit. It was at one point.
What
Actually,
what is corpse paint?
Corpse paint is like black metal, like.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes fucking sense.
Yeah. If you want, I can. I see somebody's in the spreadsheet.
Oh no,
that
you're
is
good.
that is numbered. I'll throw it in the
nice.
Discord just in case you need it later.
Can you,
Yeah,
Marco? Can you send me your name in the Discord as well?
Yeah, Memo, Memo. But I was the weapon. It's that list is linked in the weapons D8 in the document. If you're there, Ryan.
Yeah, so I just sent the spreadsheet with all the tables. It's like the weapons, the gear for sale, eccentricities, names, all the D100 stuff, except for, of course, the D66, what you were before, and who turned you, tables that are in the Google Doc. Everything is like linked. I have 5 tabs open. But the good news is, once you have your character, you don't need to do this again.
Where? Maybe I'm dumb. So where's the histories?
Histories. Oh, so in the rules doc under further details header, you have D66 who turned you and D66 what were you before. It's on page 11 of the Google Doc.
I get it. Okay, that makes sense.
Hunter, are you ready or are you still tinkering too?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Cool. Let's hear about your vamp.
So he is ghostly pale, which makes sense for a vampire that is unbelievably ageless. I was turned by a legend to preach their name to all who would listen. Formerly, before I was turned, I was a war vet. Oh, I forgot to say, my name is Sebastian. So, and then was there anything else I was supposed to say?
Nope, I think you're good.
Nice. I did it.
Almost.
Yeah, so I very much imagine him as like as appearing elderly because he's just so unbelievably old. And like I feel like at this point, whatever legend turned me, I no longer have this incredibly I'm like a positive relationship with them because it's just been so long, and I'm now jaded by like the first several hundred years was me being fervently zealous and like slaying people in the name of this legendary vampire. And now I'm
Yeah.
like, well, they never came back, so
Yeah. That's very on vibe with this game of just fucking being tired of it.
Old man uses switchblade, so
Yeah. That's pretty golden.
All right, Ryan, can I help with any last steps?
No, I think good here. Well, that makes sense.
I love, well, that makes sense. Because then you know you wrote a good table when everything plugs in like that.
Okay. And then I'm just gonna roll for a name so I don't have to fuck with it because name's the hardest thing ever for me. And let's see what we got there.
we're both named Sebastian.
Yeah. Wow.
It's a good name, and it was popular centuries ago.
It was, you know.
It was. Hey, bring it back.
I also like that this is canonically taking place in like the modern day version of the Mork Borg world. Is that what kind of what you're like?
Yeah.
That's a
So,
crazy idea.
Like Mork Borg happened 2,000 years ago. The Basilisk churches. So there's like this sort of, the intent is sort of like part of the Blood Borg experience is like you want to know more about being a vampire. You have to kind of like look for it. It's not like you can go to the library or you can't. The people who turned you aren't around like to be your mentor or some shit because there's this fucking class system that prevents you from that access. So part of what you can do to sort of emphasize the compatibility too is use Mork Borg dungeons and have that exist underneath the ground, like go through the sewers under the skyscrapers to reach these like ancient temples and shit.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
So just to be clear, this is not inspired by Twilight.
There are definitely nods to Twilight within it.
Good.
As
My
it
girlfriend
should
will be
be.
excited.
I actually had a question. Are we considered undead or alive?
You're undead.
Okay.
Yeah, there also feel free to ask sort of etymological questions about all the vampirism because there's a lot with vampires that like you kind of assume to be true or you take for granted because there just are in our world so many different kinds of vampires. This game definitely leans on a lot of those tropes, but it also chooses a few to not give a shit about. So any kind of vampire thing like that, feel free to ask. And if I don't have an answer, that's great too, because then I'm seeing blind spots. But I'm pretty sure I've thought a lot, way too much about how vampires work.
We can enter without.
Yeah,
Permission.
so because the powers that be who built this city are vampires, a lot of the buildings are owned publicly. So they've sort of done away with the need for invitation, except there are like their own domiciles, like very wealthy places that you can't access by design.
That's cool. That's a good way around that.
So yeah, like again, you
Or
can
to limit
yeah,
it.
you can go into a bar. A bar is a public place, but you can't go to fucking Steve's apartment because Steve says, I don't want to talk to you.
Mm-hmm. Do you like for this one? And you said
Sorry.
this.
Sorry, someone just rang my doorbell, so I'm going to figure out what that is real quick.
Do that.
I'm just going to get our names put up here real quick. And then when Adam gets back, I will go through my character. Replace existing. Boom.
So we all agree when Adam comes back, we're going to jump them, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
Let's all just leave and then just.
Today's
Okay.
episode has been brought to you by the Weekly Scroll.
Yeah. For those of you watching live, hi. Hope this is fun. I cut this part out of the recording for the podcast, probably, or maybe we'll just
We'll
leave
see
it. Yeah.
if I remember. Yeah. So we're not having dead air. Marco's been on the show before. How's Greenhorns coming along, buddy?
I have Greenhorns is coming along great. I have the bounty hunting rules finished, or in a spot where a bunch of peers are looking at it right now. Christian Sorrell is writing the introductory bounty hunting mission, which I'm very excited about. Very
I've
excited.
heard their name around.
Yeah, very excited with where they're taking it and other things that are happening. I've been a lot more like structured with my like dungeon writing. So for each, since it's centered around like adjectives and stuff, I write like a bunch of D6 tables, and then I roll on a bunch of those to make more cohesive living spaces, especially since it's modular. There's like kind of things that interlap and kind of feels very differently depending on what you play. So yeah, I'm pretty very, very happy with it, and glad I didn't finish it last fall. So
Nice.
There we go. Yeah. For those that haven't watched the show or seen the episodes before, Marco ran the game we're talking about, Greenhorns, twice on the show, part 1 and part 2. And spoiler alert, plug your ears if you don't want to hear, you fucking killed us. So, fuck you.
How's
Marco.
Outsourced going?
good. Well, good. Really? Oh.
I was just like, wait, there's something else. Yeah, that's the other thing. Ugh, that's a great cover. God, it's a good cover.
I got the advanced copies, but there's some problems with my printer, unfortunately. That it came out awesome, but for shipping it was just like delayed a lot, and so I've made that update to the Kickstarter. But Jarrett, our good friend, will be receiving
Jarrett,
them.
the legendary.
Yeah, hopefully at the beginning. Well, April 1st through 8th, I think, is like the docking now, because it got changed kind of again. But that is part of working with overseas printers. I print in Latvia, but yeah, super happy with it.
All right.
Welcome back, Adam.
Thank
Welcome
you.
back.
It's intense out there.
Oh yeah, a lot of fights going on.
No, they're like destroying the sidewalk with heavy machinery, and so they made me move my car.
That was nice of them, though.
They didn't tell us in advance that this was happening. So anyway, let's go. Ryan, you got a character?
I do have a character. This is my boy. This is 13. That is their name. That is his name. It's he, him pronouns. We talked about part of it, but I'll go through the whole thing again. He's a masochist, kidnapped by a stranger. The first time I tasted blood was when I kidnapped a stranger during escalating torture sessions. I was turned by a doctor in a sick, unsanctioned experiment. And in my former life, I was a serial killer.
Yep.
It's perfect. I rock corpse paint, and I rolled for a studded leather jacket. I have $7 in my pocket. My baseball bat with teeth, and an undead severed hand that is apparently trained that I can bitch slap people with. I think that's me. Did I need anything else?
No, I don't think so. I think we're good to go.
I can't believe how good of a character for you that is, honestly.
Yeah. I love how it all makes sense too. Like, obviously, like the person who was the serial killer that got turned in an experiment is now the masochist with like a severed hand. Like, come on.
Yeah, love that. Love when a plan comes together.
Yeah, it's pretty.
So if you're ready, we can just go right into the adventure. I will share with you. Let's see if this will work. Not quite. Other thought. One other thought. There we go. I'm sharing a map to you in Discord here. Then I'll just read the intro text. The homie Dakota Shreveport has been running with a normie named Body lately, who has been giving you a bad vibe since day one. They've been talking all week about going to this gig at The Spot, which is a hipster club on the north side of your place. Vamps are explicitly not welcome there. So you've never been there, but they've been talking about it like nonstop. Dakota is a vamp, but Body is just a normie. Body is the one who invited Dakota, so they presumably have access when you don't. That's fine. Dakota can do their own thing, except they haven't been home in a few days, and they left their pet cat Thirst alone without a sitter, which is something they would never do. So you can infer something must be up. So we're going to go to the gig at The Spot, and we're going to see what Body has to say for himself. I shared with you the map. We are gonna be at The Spot. I mentioned this is a little bit north of your place where you all kick it and live, or I get live in quotes. And yeah, so you're going to The Spot. As you can see on the map, there's a few people in line outside of the main entrance. Everything else, I guess, is obfuscated to you right now. That's the interior of the Spot. So as you, I guess, to get us started, Sebastian, who is Dakota to you?
He is a younger vampire who I have occasionally
Right.
who I've occasionally taken under my wing in times of trouble. I feel like they're the type who gets into trouble often.
Yeah. Love that. And Memo, how did your gang get here? Did you walk? Did you skate? It's not terribly far. It's maybe a mile from where you guys live.
Yeah, I think if we're trying to get in, then we would walk. We wouldn't skate because we one more reason to be turned down at the door.
Love it. And 13, well, I guess this is more of a group decision, but I'm going to sort of make you the captain of making this decision. You can see all the hipsters outside in line waiting to get in. You see two big ass bouncers at the door with the velvet rope, like letting people in and checking IDs. And you also know that you can go around back and try to sneak in if you wanted to. So how, I guess, are you guys planning to get into the show tonight?
Ooh. I think I feel like Sebastian's the type who's he's just so ancient and like does not care that he's just gonna go through the front door. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but
I feel, even though I'm kind of lonely and whatnot, I feel like I'm like kind of entitled in a way. Like, I'm kind of done. So I'm also just like willing to risk it instead of, kind of be like not caring. Just, hey, I'm gonna go.
Are you the kind of sad and depressed? It's like, I hate everyone and everyone's terrible, but I'm also better than everyone. Like, even though I hate me more than everything, kind of depressed. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm in the gang. So I think my loneliness is kind of quelled by that, but I feel I've had so many friendships in my long life that I'm, really numb to it. I don't think I'm necessarily like, I don't feel like I'm better. I just feel like a lot of it doesn't matter. And
just like real life.
until you
like
go
real
missing, like I care about our other gang member.
Adam, do you want this map on screen once we get in, or what do you want?
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, obviously, this is a sketch, but it will help sort of visualize what we're going through.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, here's the thing. Sebastian gives 0 fucks. Memo gives 0 fucks, and 13 really hopes someone fucked with him. So I think we're just going in the front door.
Am I correctly interpreting that you're not waiting in line, that you're just going up to the bouncers?
Yep. I feel like that feels good.
Great. So obviously they're gonna stop you. There's two. They're probably like 6'4", like 300-pound dudes. You can tell right away, like, they're not vampires. They're just people. I guess an important note here is that how do I word this? Vampires don't exist publicly, but everyone kind of knows that they exist, right? Like, it's not a well-kept secret.
It's like an
but
open
there's
secret.
plausible deniability. So you can tell if somebody's a vampire, but they can't really tell about you. So you can sort of be incognito for as long as you want. But once that, secret is spoiled, you can't really put it back in the box. So yeah, it's an open secret that vampires exist and are around, and that there's magic, and all the other shit is kind of like tied to that. This sort of urban fantasy aspect of it is around, but kind of like in your peripheral. Most people don't experience it in their everyday life.
But this place is a little bit more in tune to the fact that there's vampires, right? Because we're not really welcome.
They're aware of it in a more explicit way, and yes, you're not welcome here. But again, they wouldn't know on your face that you're vampires. They might be able to tell they might be able to guess from your clothes, or the fact that we got a couple 1,000-year-old dude here.
Well, I haven't even described what my guy looks like in my head either. I'm like,
you can, if you'd like to. I would love to know.
Yeah, he's like 4'11", and like perfectly proportioned. Like, he's just 4'11". He has white hair, like long white hair, no beard, and like an ageless face. Like, he neither looks, when you look at somebody and you're like, they look either young or incredibly old, but there's no wrinkles, so I have no real, like, that's what he looks like. And I feel like he's dressed down. He's wearing like those like nice black pants that kind of have like an elastic-ish waistband. You can tuck your t-shirt into them and you look like a slim dude. Yeah, that's what he's wearing. So, and then very long fingernails because vampire. So
right. I think 13 is probably leading the charge here, especially because you're kind of wanting to get into the fight. So the two bouncers, they kind of like put their hands up, like they're not going to touch you yet, but they're just like stiff arm. There's a line. Can you not see that there's like a dozen people here trying to get in?
I don't see anyone that matters at all.
They kind of like smirk at each other, and they're like, all right, well, do you have a ticket?
I have, 1 second. Let me check here. I have $7.
The one of the bouncers just laughs at you, and they're like, and I have a job to do, so why don't you continue, walk on, and we'll pretend this never happened.
Child, please, come hither.
The bouncers kind of like look at each other and laugh again, and one of them goes like ducks down because they're over a foot taller than you, and like, what's up, little buddy?
I pull out like a money clip, and I just feel like it is like a gem encrusted money clip, like it's still magnetic and everything. And I like pull out $50 and like, will this get us through your door?
He like looks, the other bouncer's watching, And he's like, this is good for me, but like,
And I put it back in, and I pull out $100 bill. I'm like, will this get us through your door?
yeah, he just like immediately like just grabs it and like nods to let you in.
Thank you, child.
And a couple of the hipsters in the line start booing you, like, what the hell, fuck you, like, but the three of you have gained entry to the spot. As you
Why it's good to
walk,
have rich friends, you know?
it truly is. As you walk in, you can hear this shitty band playing. They're called Radio/Active, and it sucks. And it's like synth pop. They're off key and it's really slow, but not in like a cool droney way. It's just like high school dance music. Um, they're all human. You can tell that there's definitely nothing special going on with the four people on stage.
Adam, is this a reference to a real band?
So I actually have been thinking that, you know how movies will be in comics will be like any reference is coincidental. This is not a band that I know, and it does seem like that might be a band name that's a real band. So like this, for the record, I just came up with a name and I didn't look to see if it was real. There's so many bands whose names
I
are
was thinking
taken.
this was like an Imagine Dragons dig, you know, because they have that terrible song Radioactive. That's like a synth
I did think of that.
song.
I did think of that retroactively, but it was not intentional from the set. But it does suck, and they do suck. Um, so yeah, the Radio/Active is playing, and it sucks, and it's just like the crowd is kind of like, you know, the map says pit, but it's not like a mosh pit. They're just like a bunch of people dancing and kind of like swaying. It's not super active, and it doesn't even really look that fun. But there are a few dozen
radioactive. Radioactive.
Exactly.
It's the band. The band.
And so that, yeah, they're just kind of like swaying around. You can see over at the edge of the room, perpendicular to the stage, is a long bar where there are a few people getting drinks. You can see the back door, the loading door by the side of the stage where all the gear comes in and out and leads to the back alley. There's some bathrooms in the corner, and that's effectively the space of the show. So what do you guys want to do next?
Do we see body?
Not at first, but there is, you know, probably 60 people swaying around in this center pit. You can tell that they're not at the bar right now. Because like the bar has maybe two patrons who are awake and ordering. You always have the couple people who are like slumped over, barely able to hold themselves up. They're at the bar too. But yeah, you don't see body in that little clearing, so you can presume they must be either in the pit or in the bathroom or something.
I think my first move is to go into the pit, and I'm gonna kind of do like a Joker dance, you know, just very like slow and just like kind of uh into myself, kind of eyes mostly closed, kind of peering through my eyelashes, which
Right.
are longer, and just checking people out.
I'm going to come back to that in a second. I want to see what the other two are doing first.
I have two questions.
Go ahead.
Physiologically, are we able to consume human food and liquids?
Yes.
Dope.
Beat me to it.
Do we now? How does it come out?
Just like fluid, like effectively like diarrhea. Like it's, and this probably won't be in the book, but you just ingest things for the fun and for the flavor of it. You don't get any nutrients from it. The only thing that you can really subside on is the blood of living creatures specifically.
Gotcha.
And by that I specifically also mean humans. You can't subside on the blood of animals. One of the vampire types can, but that's like a rare ability.
Gotcha. So do we have like, I'm not going to get medical on it. Never mind. It comes in, it goes out at some point. My second question was, if we die here, are we in a time loop going back into the same concert over and over again?
I had that thought as I was designing it. It's funny because I was like, I got to make an adventure. I want my starter adventure to be at a show. And as I was designing it, and like, the shows have bars, here's the room, and I was like, no, we've done this before. But that's the Adam Vass template.
Yeah. That's all I had.
That's all you have? You're not going to do anything?
This is a note. This is a editor's note to check out No Future by World Champ Game Co. Played on the Weekly Scroll for more show shenanigans.
It's great.
It is great. It was such a fun game. Like, I would play that over and over again. Well, we did kind of, but like we would. So 13. So we described Sebastian, our little man here. Has so I rolled for corpse paint. So it's the, it kind of looks like well, when I googled corpse paint, it reminds me of Kiss a whole lot, which I don't want. But
no, you
so
look like a juggalo.
Yeah, I'm a juggalo. No, so it's definitely stop yelling. It's definitely more of like The Crow, but later in the movie where it's still white, but it's kind of faded a little bit. But instead of like, and definitely like around the eyes dark, but around the mouth, instead of like a smile, it's that fun like Halloween makeup that's kind of like skeleton teeth with like the high cheekbones. So it's that kind of like faded makeup of that. So it's not like caked on white. It's more of, like a white foundation with like this makeup. This will come through a little bit. So it's not super obvious, but it's definitely there. But I feel like this is the kind of dude that's just like always smiling because he's always like 1 second from like slashing someone's throat. And he's just totally good with that. So I'm just going to come in and just like bask, like hardcore walk in the middle of people's way, like put 2 hands on my hips and just be like this is just a buffet of opportunities here. And I will just survey and wait for Sebastian to do something.
Yeah, Sebastian, once you gain entrance, what's your move, your stance?
So first of all, as I walk in, I take a deep, deep breath. And I use my keen senses to see if I can smell. I assume I know what my friend smells like because I've had to house them before.
Yeah.
So yeah, I take a deep breath and I just try to notice if I smell that I have their scent anywhere.
I think so. The first thing that hits you is just the smell of BO of within the pit. Like it is like sweaty.
I smell food. That's like food to me.
Yeah, maybe it's like going to the butcher section of the grocery store.
Yeah.
And you do get a faint whiff of I guess like vampire essence. That sort of undead smell. It's not quite a rot, but it is something, I guess, more less delectable than the smell of the human flesh around you, and more dirty, more tainted,
like a sweet putrefaction kind of.
Yeah, and almost like a fermentation smell. And it's faint, like you can smell it. They're not probably they're probably not in the pit based on how faint the smell is. Either that or these people really stink and you're not quite sure because you get a little whiff, but it's not like enough to be like, there he is.
Okay, well then I'll walk up to the bar, and I assume they're like bar stools, right? Because I'm like I'm under 5 feet tall. So you said there are people passed out at the bar?
Always, yeah.
So I like scamper up one of them to sit on a stool next to them.
Okay.
You know, just to make sure this is. I want this guy to be as weird and off-putting as possible, because I feel like for
Yeah.
several thousands of years, you stop being any type of human. And I waved, I signaled to the bartender politely, you know.
Yeah. I want to get back to Memo,
Go for it.
but I also think I'm gonna ride the bartender train, especially because we're in like another marked location on the map. So I'm gonna give you a little more information. Um, you see the bartender's pretty hot. Her name's Mila Z, and she's tending bar. There's hard liquor, there's beer, there's cocktails. On the bar, there's like a little plastic thing that's advertising the drink special for a taste of death. That's $9. Um, and as she takes orders, they sort of appear in this dumbwaiter that's behind her that keeps going up and down.
Mm.
So she'll like take an order, put a tab in the dumbwaiter, and for cocktails, for shots and whatever and beers, she can just serve them up. Um, you can also tell because you're so old that there's something. She's not just a human, that she has some kind of like infernal presence. You can almost feel the heat radiating off of her skin from where you're sitting. And so she'll like put one of those shitty napkins down, drop a plastic cup of water, and like scoot one of the placards with the drink special over towards you as she continues to kind of like make her rounds with the other patrons. So give you a second to kind of like read the special menu and pick a drink. And while we do that, I'm gonna get back to Memo, who's in the pit. You are looking for body, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just vibing, like fitting in.
Yeah, kind of fitting in. Maybe I'm a little bit sticking out if they're like very mundane, but I have my eccentricity is like silent steps. So I'm like very fluid,
Yeah.
in
You
movement.
actually, I think because you're so because you can catch the vibe so easy and the band is so bad, you're actually kind of like more on time than what they're playing. Like it's kind of there's a disconnect between your body's movement and the music that you're hearing.
Yeah, that's
And
the other part is like I'm not dancing great. It's just like, it's not like this, but it's like doesn't look good, but it's like fluid.
uh in this moment, the song ends and there's just this weird, awkward kind of silence. Like nobody applauds, and the singer kind of like mumbles something into the microphone. And 2 or 3 seconds later, you hear this kind of like weak, forced applause. Um, and they're like, all right, this next song is called Imagining Somethings. And they start another song, and the vibe kind of like, again, people had sort of been not quite still, but the music restarts and the vibe restarts. You can see through this moment of stillness, that body is like dancing in the crowd. You might have to like weasel between a couple people to get over to them. And
Yeah.
13, you're also in the pit, right? Yeah, you're kind of like stirring shit in there. Ryan, are you on
You
mute?
muted.
Sorry, I thought you were talking to Moon for a second because I forgot my name is a number. No, I don't feel like I'm in the pit. I feel like I'm kind of like circling around the pit, just being creepy as fuck, and just like randomly, just like, walking around, like maybe like dancing every now and then, doing a thing, like sniffing people, hunting, like very openly, which makes me feel great, because they don't know that that's what I'm doing, but they all see me doing it, and just like zeroing in on like a target 4 at some point, possibly something. So I'm just like meandering kind of around the edges of the pit, randomly, like being creepy.
You can see Memo kind of like spot body and start to kind of move that direction through the crowd. While you're bumped by 2 people who are carrying out a passed out person. And they're like, look out, get out of the way. Like the crowd's like kind of half-ass getting out of the way, but they're really struggling to get these. And this person is just blackout, like can't walk, and they're just getting dragged away by their friends. So Memo, you're on your way to body. You're gonna be able to get over to him pretty easy, relatively. Like you're gonna brush up against people. It's gonna be awkward and smelly, but it's not gonna be like terribly difficult.
Before
So
I
go
do
ahead.
that, can I? So I'm like kind of, moving or whatever. I would like to, before I would have approached, I'd like to like turn around and just kind of stare at 13 until we make eye contact.
Yeah,
Just do like a little nod.
he can
and
just
then-
like
but,
feel it.
Yeah, and then just go.
Cool.
But yeah, so approaching body though, by myself,
And
not waiting. So
I'll also just make a note for the sake of power stuff, that everyone starts with 0 blood. You gotta accrue blood if you want to use it, which is your choice. But I just wanted to make note of it in case that comes up soon. So body kind of like, makes eye contact with you in the dance pit and kind of just like turns and is like trying to vibe and like keep their back to you.
yeah, I'll approach. And I do apologize. I kept body and thirst, but I lost our friend's name.
Dakota. Dakota
Dakota,
is, Dakota Shreveport is the vamp you're looking for.
Cool. Yeah, I'm just gonna approach, but make sure that I'm at least side by side, if not like kind of face on. So I don't want to be like, if they're turning their back and there's like squished, I would walk around so I could be. And if there's not squish, I would just insert myself. Like,
There's not
right
enough squish
from-
that you'd have to. This band's not that popular, so you're gonna be able to get in where you want to get in.
Cool. And it's not gonna be like super abrasive. I'm just, I feel, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
So they're like trying to have like a good time, but every time they kind of like see you or make note of you, they're like,
yeah.
it's like spoiling the vibe a little bit, and they're gonna just kind of continually try to like maintain their vibe, their energy, and pretend you just don't exist.
Yeah, I'm just gonna not be like too abrasive with it, but just be like, hey, I just need to know where Dakota is.
Who are you again?
I'm Dakota's buddy, and his cat's been neglected, and we know that's not like him.
Body like taps somebody that they're dancing next to and is like get a load of this dude. But like you can kind of tell even the person who he taps like, okay, man, like not his homie, like just a guy.
Yeah.
At this point, can 13 just do that like super broy, like extra hard clap on the back and like come around, like put an arm around the neck and just be like, buddy, like give him a couple pats, like I'm like behind him and I got him a little bit chill cold. It's like, haha, kind of funny, but like it's that weird kind of like broy, like, am I gonna fight you or are we just joking kind of funny? And when I slap his chest, I want it to be a little extra hard,
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, get off.
Oh, hey, buddy, pal, buddy, friend. We're friends, pal, buddy, body, whatever the fuck your name is. How's it going, pal?
He just is like, get off. He's like looking around the room for security or something to be like, dude.
So my strength is +2. I'm I would like it to be like, I want to be as immobile as, like, I want it to feel like when he moves away that it's literally like he's trying to get away from like a metal frame, like he does not move, so that my strength is apparent to him.
I won't make you. He's like not trying to start a fight, so he's like trying to writhe out, but he's not like, it's not violent yet, you know. So I won't make you roll for anything yet. You got him in your grasp for sure.
Dope. Yeah.
And yeah, Memo is kind of like circling the. You're also like there, privy to this.
Yeah, I'm there. I'm like, dude, just help us out.
He says, "Yeah, just go fuck yourself, man. I don't know anything."
I'm gonna give him a couple of claps on the chest again, like real friendly but like hard, and just be like, buddy, listen, we're friends. You want to stay friends with us because it would be bad for you if we weren't still friends. So tell us what we want to know. Friend, where's Dakota?
So Body obviously knows you're vampires, because they know Dakota. I think this moment is definitely like a fuck, like, how do I get out of this kind of, I don't know the way out of this situation. He just goes, "I'm not telling you shit."
You know what? I'm okay with that. Because I'm hungry. I'm a hungry boy, Body. And I've been looking around, and you smell tasty.
What's Body's friend doing?
That was not Body's friend. That was just some dude that he was acting like was his friend. So that dude's just back to dancing.
Okay, perfect.
While you're in this sort of standoff, another person gets dragged out of the pit, passed out, like again, like right, kind of through you. Maybe between Memo and 13, like someone just kind of gets dragged by their friends out of the pit and trying to like tap their face and like keep them aware in some way, but they're fucking gone. Their eyes are looking at nothing.
Gotcha.
Hey,
that you know what? That's almost like a premonition, because I feel like you're gonna look like that in just like a second or two.
Yeah, maybe some more bodies might hit the floor.
Yeah.
At this point, I think he realizes he's not getting out of this without a fight. And he's gonna try to elbow you in the gut and try to get out of this. So we're gonna have our first.
Happy.
We're gonna have our first dice moment, right? And like in Mork Borg, you're rolling for defense rather than me rolling for attack. So I guess this could be a strength. I mean, you're probably, because of who you are, gonna just try to take it and not try to evade it so much as like you wouldn't use agility, right? You would just kind of like flex it off, and you want to maintain your grip. So I think this is a strength test.
Yeah. What? God, I haven't played Mork Borg in forever. What is the big difference between strength and toughness?
Toughness is sort of like constitution. It mostly is how you. Actually, toughness is better in. So I would say, I'll give you this option. You can toughness check to offset any damage or any kind of pain from this, or you can strength check to keep your grip on him and get hurt. I'll give you like either one of those choices.
So if I choose to, absorb the damage potentially, he would escape my grasp if I fail.
No, I'll say so. Like, if you test toughness, you're gonna keep your grip on him. Wait, I'm fucking up. So basically, yeah, strength. I don't want to do 2 dice rolls. So I'm going to
Right.
have you choose. Do you want to worry about maintaining your grip and potential, and then you just will take damage? Or do you want to not take damage and you'll have to let go of your grip?
No, I'll grip. Staying. I'm like I gorilla grip
Cool.
on this guy right now.
So yeah, do a strength test. I'll say, I mean, it's a difficulty of 12 as like a standard. I think because of this menacing position that you've put everyone in, I'll lower that to a 10.
Okay, well I rolled a 17 and I have a +2, so I got a 19.
Perf.
Yeah.
So you'll take he'll elbow you and you feel it like it's an elbow in your gut. I'll say it's only 1 damage.
Absorbed by my studded leather jacket.
Oh,
so
nice.
No damage. Yeah.
Love that. But yeah, you got him in a headlock grip still. You don't lose any grip at all.
Mm. Yeah, after he elbows me, I've been doing kind of like this thing, like, you know, but
Yeah.
I want to actually like crank it down and kind of give him a noogie, and he's been like, oh, body, 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 body. Yeah. Oh my God, I'm so glad you did that. Yeah.
Cool.
I'll wait like a second to see if Memo or he does anything before I do anything else.
So
No, I would move so that I would block the like I'll take my action after yours, but my main like movement is going to be to block any view from like the front door where like security might be. So like the stage can see us, but whoever's behind us can't. But I'll make my action after your choice.
yeah, you for like the Borgian parallelism here, you're in initiative and they went first, so like you get a turn still. Your defense is not your turn, that's a reaction to theirs. So 13 gets to do something still before.
Gotcha. Could I so I'm in a headlock and people are like passing out and being carried out, so I would love to just suffocate this person until he passes out.
I agree. I'll say again, it's a strength with a difficulty of 10, and to hurt him. And I'll say, because this is like technically like an unarmed, I guess it would be a D4 damage. But if you want to like knock him out, same roll. I'll say if you get higher than 16, so difficulty of 16 to choke him out.
I rolled a 21.
Okay.
Hot damn.
Yeah, so he just kind of goes limp in your arm, and you're just holding him up by the neck at this point. For also the sake of, like, this is sort of a skirt around some rules. Rulings over rules. He's unconscious and not dead. You didn't break his neck unless that you were trying to do that.
No, I was trying to just like, I had him in a headlock. I just wanted to like, make him pass out.
The distinction here, besides the fact that like you might not want to murder yet, is that vampires, you can only drain the blood of things that are alive, and the second you kill somebody, their blood is poisonous. Like, not literally like going to kill you, but like it doesn't nourish you anymore. It's been tainted by death. So they're body's unconscious in your arms, limp body. And yeah, so you said do you want to drag him off out of the pit a little?
Yeah, I Memo, like, as he's passing out, like, I'll just wave Memo over real quick, and we'll do, like, I almost want to, like, do a mockery of how the other people are doing, like, kind of, like, slap his face a little bit. Oh, no, we got another one. Oh, no. And I just, like, drag him out. Can I, like, throw, like, a look over and try to... Fuck that little short bastard. And, like, try to, like...
You guys could try to weaken and Bernie's him to the bathroom. Not to, but...
I mean, that's true. Yeah, I would be like, body, the shitty music knocked you out.
The song ends again, and again there's this pause before anyone applauds. 2 or 3 seconds before anyone kind of claps. And the singer said like takes a sip of this plastic cup full of water that he's got on stage and spits it. It's like shit, tastes like shit. Fucking water tastes like shit. This is gross. And like there's not even any like acknowledgement or fanfare from the crowd, and they just start another song. I'm gonna go back to Sebastian at the bar, who's maybe not quite able to see this flag down from 13 across the bar due to your height and the situation you're in.
Yeah. By the way, I did Google this beforehand. I am the exact average height of a full-grown chimpanzee, and that's very much how I imagine this like elderly, ageless creature I am.
Perfect. Mila comes over and says, like, what can I get for you tonight, sweetheart?
Oh, child. Yeah, and he sounds like that. You're just like, you can't let me play a vampire game because I'm gonna play a little freak guy. So the specialty menu that's being the stuff's coming like being toted from like some
Yeah, from the
dumbwaiter thing. What was on that menu?
Just that. It's a drink called the Taste of Death. It's $9. It doesn't really say what it is. It's just like a rocks glass with this like dark liquid with some ice, and it's almost like not quite steam. I guess it's like steaming or smoking. Like there's almost like a cloud coming out of it.
And is there like this is like a regular bar too, so there's like a shelf behind her with liquor, right?
Yeah.
So, child, I'll have one of the death brews, and then I'll have 2 shots of that tequila. And I'll point up to like a higher shelf, maybe not the highest shelf tequila, but something that's old, you know?
Okay. She says sure thing. Like she'll like knock on the bar twice. And while she goes and reaches up for the tequila, you see the dumbwaiter come up. It's got a drink on it. And she comes with the tequila bottle and your taste of death. She says, "What? I don't know how much shots. $20 for everything."
Perfect.
The person who didn't drink made a game with a bar in it. So
if we're talking about higher shelf tequila for a shot, yeah, I feel like $22.
But it's also the 80s.
Oh, probably like 15 or $13.
All right, let's say 50 for the 2 shots and the special.
Okay, I give it to him. And then I immediately I scoot one of the shots towards her, and I, cheers.
Yeah, she takes it. She tucks the money in her bra. She kind of like winks at you.
So tell me about this drink, child. What's in it?
She just says, "Oh, a little this, a little that."
You have a very interesting nature around yourself, child. Tell me, where are you from originally?
She like looks at you for a second, and she goes,
is this like a vampire thing where like my eyes can like change color kind of thing, Like, you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know what you're talking.
Oh, I'm like vampire stuff when they get like hungry or angry and their eyes turn like red in color or whatever. It's okay if it's not. I'm just asking.
I'll say no. I don't think that's. There is like stuff with spells and powers that you can like change your appearance.
Okay. Okay.
So she looks over, like she gives you an up and down, and she just laughs and kind of says through like, "I'm from down south."
I can tell the heat rising off you is palpable.
She says, "Look, I know your secret, and I don't know that this is the best place for you."
I understand, and I appreciate the warning. Now tell me, child, have you ever heard of Dakota Shreveport? He is one of mine, and I describe Dakota. I can smell him in here, but we have not seen him in a while.
She just said like, a lot of people come through here. and they're all kind of the same to me. So like, I don't know, dude.
Am I kind of the same to you, child?
You're certainly something, but
Mm. I pull out the gold encrusted money clip, that I have canonically, that you've just gone along with this whole time, and I appreciate it.
absolutely.
And I tap it on the table. I'm like, how much for seeing Dakota Shreveport? How much for your knowledge?
She's like, seriously, bud, I can't help you. You should put that away. Like, she's like looking around the other bar patrons.
Hmm.
This
I
place is
have
a
a
dive.
feeling. What's up?
This place is a dive. Like you
Yeah.
pointed out this, yeah.
So I'm like, and then I tuck it into my pants, which is funny because now there's only like $90 in there, so it's not like I'm not getting rolled for that much now. So do I have the death drink in front of me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna stick my pinky in, and then I'm just gonna taste my pinky. And I will once again call upon my keen sense in this moment to try to just like pull apart what's in this. I feel like thousands of years old. At one point in time, I've worked as maybe a bartender.
Sure. Yeah, you can definitely tell there's some, again, don't drink. So make up a drink.
Okay.
It's got like charcoal. It's got some like charcoal in it to make it black. It's got almost this taste of like sulfur, like this nasty that kind of like fog that's coming off of the drink smells like hell. Smells like sulfur and rot. The taste you taste some of the like metal of blood, like, but it is very clear to you that it is vampire's blood.
I
That
see.
there's like a rot in it, and then all of this, of course, like mixed with the cold of the ice, the water of the melted ice, and some kind of liquor.
Yeah. It's a bourbon based drink, it's a, yeah. Cool. So there's a guy passed out next to me, right? Is there any way to covertly feed?
I mean, if no one sees you, then no one sees you.
Well, I just was thinking I'll take the glass and I'll just pour it out directly below me because this is a shitty dive bar with shitty lighting, I assume.
Sure, yeah.
And I was gonna take the guy's wrist next to me and prick it with my long nails and just squeeze out a little bit of blood into the cup.
I'll definitely let you do that. He's blackout, so there's no roll here.
Cool. I'm not like gonna drain everything, by the way. I'll prick it and then yeah.
So you gain, let me find the blood header here.
Also, I'm so sorry y'all listening at home for my voice, but I'm gonna stick with it.
So you would do D4 damage to your target, which doesn't matter because this dude's blackout. So already unconscious. You gain D2 blood. So you get two blood.
Cool.
I don't remember if I mentioned, but you can never have more than 3. So
okay.
three's your cap, but you get 2. And you would regain D4 HP, but you haven't taken any damage, so you're at full health still.
Cool. I did, by the way, for the record, I did do 2 damage to that guy. So if that matters. Okay.
Cool.
How much HP do regular people have?
That's a good question. So it varies. A normie or a hipster has 3. Or a hipster has 3. The people like a normie usually has 5. Single digits.
Okay.
But just like in any game, like more important, so the bouncers would have had 12. They kind of scale based on how important they are and how much like power I guess they have.
Cool.
So yeah, you got a little blood in your tummy. We're gonna go back to the other 2 who've got this unconscious body. I'm
gonna move to join them, by the way.
Yeah, great.
Just to not have to split it anymore.
Yeah, great. Yeah, so you walk over, maybe licking your lips a little bit. The other 2 can tell you just fed. You're a little more chipper. And yeah, you can see they've got body bodied.
Another drink.
Are we? I think I probably would have asked Memo this like already, and it been going one of the two directions. Are we going to like the bathroom, or are we going to like the back door, or like what's our plan, Memo?
Sorry, I should also make note, because it's on the map, but it's not numbered, that there's a downward staircase between the stage and bar in that top corner. But you have definitely drag access to any of those locales.
Do we know? Is there like a sign that says like worse than
Yeah.
up here or anything?
Sorry, there's this, the stairway is lit enough, like it has like an exit sign or something, like a glowing sign there.
I think the safe bet to talk to Body would be to go to the alley, but I feel like we shouldn't necessarily not go downstairs. So we could also, I'm down to bring him down.
I would be. So are people the downstairs? Are people coming up and down there? Is it like actively used?
No, I mean, you can presume from having been to shows that that's probably where the green room is.
I think that we should go towards the bathrooms. I say in my creepy voice.
People will definitely be using the bathrooms. I'm okay with like the downstairs. We could probably make that work.
You don't think we'll draw attention if people aren't regularly walking up there? The bathroom we can like get into, and if there are people in there, we can wait for them to leave or get them out.
Are they family size, or would it be weird for like 4?
They're like single stalls, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Perfect. Like it's single, like one person bathrooms.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's perfect. I mean, you've been to a show, you've seen like 4 people go into one bathroom to do drugs before. Like that is not at all unusual.
All right, yeah, we'll drag this dude behind the old man towards the bathroom. Like,
cool.
Let's get some water on your face there, friend of ours, and just drag him in there.
Cool. Let's see. There's 2 stalls. So you're going into the first one. You can see as you approach the door, there's water pooling out at the bottom. The toilet is overflowing and it is leaking out very slowly into the general show space. As you open that door, you can hear and see the overflowing of the toilet, and there are 3 sewer crabs kind of like around the toilet bowl trying to kind of like get out of, like, go back down. And when they see you, and by sewer crab I just mean a crab that lives in the sewer. It is, a little bit bigger than a beach crab, I guess.
Yeah, normal sewer crabs, like we've all experienced.
Sewer crabs.
Yeah.
And they're going to we're gonna roll initiative and have you fight some sewer crabs real quick.
Hell yeah.
First question, and you'll all get to go before the crabs do, is what do you do with Body here?
We're in the bathroom right now, right?
Yeah, I'll ask 13 because you've got the grip.
So we open the stall and there's just like crabs, just like chilling, coming out of the toilet.
I mean, they're not like, yeah. I guess I wouldn't call them chilling. There's like, I feel like a crab is not a chill creature. They're
Very
always like skittering and like they're out there. I don't know. There's 3 sewer crabs and they want to fuck you up.
That's more than enough information. Yeah. I mean, if we're in the or did you say we were alone in the bathroom?
Besides the crabs, yeah. And the toilet's overflowing, and then there's the 3 of you and unconscious Body.
Yeah, fuck him. We'll drop his ass right into the fucking
water.
Right into the fucking water on the ground. I give 0 fucks about this guy.
Cool. Yeah, the three of you get to act first in initiative, and there are three sewer crabs kind of like pinching the air around you, fucking ready to throw down.
Cool. I acted first last time. I think I was following Sebastian in, so
I'm the least combat-y person here. Like, I have no HP and I will die immediately. So I think I'll let you guys take care of this and I'll hold down our body. I'm gonna sit on body. I think y'all got this. It's just a couple crabs.
Yeah, I'll claw them right away. Be like, these damn bastards. You know, because we like live in the sewer, more or less.
Yeah.
It's fucking crabs.
Yeah, to you
them.
that's like a roach in your cabinet. Like you see sewer crabs all the time. It's fucking no big deal. Yeah, roll D20 to hit. They're a difficulty of 12. I don't remember you got, so you would use strength, sorry.
Strength. I rolled an 11.
Okay, so yeah, you are swiping your claws at it. You like scratch it. You see kind of the scratch marks on the back of its, is the right word that I'm looking for carapace?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You scratch into its carapace. You see the scratch marks from your claws, but they're crabs, so they can just like take it. They don't even really notice that they got swiped, and they're just still kind of like scurrying around you. 13, do some violence.
Yeah, so I do we don't happen to have like our weapons and shit here, do we?
So you just bought your way in, because one of the bouncers' jobs was to like check for weapons, but since you just paid them off, you do have like whatever your shit is.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, so then I have a baseball bat with teeth that I must have just like,
Oh yeah,
you know.
let's say it's like under your clothes or something, like
Yeah,
at
like
least a little bit hidden.
I tucked it into like my jacket or something. That's I'm not just happy to see you if it's tucked in my pants. And I'll whip that out, and it's a baseball bat that I have. You know what? Isn't one of the things that I keep trophies for my kills? There we go. So I keep some of the teeth. Probably other things too, but I definitely take the teeth from some of my victims and I just attach them into the bat. Because what I actually do is I extract the teeth with the bat, and all the ones that stick, you know, I keep in there.
Love it.
Yeah. So I have that, and I hit a crab with it. I hit a sewer crab with it. That's what I like to do.
Roll D20 and add your strength.
10 plus 2.
Okay. Yeah. How do you like? Are you underhanding? Are you overhanding? Like, describe your motion here. How you're going to annihilate some crabs?
Well, so I'm thinking of the camera angles here. Like, so there's a stall, there's a toilet, and there's 3 like sewer crabs, like kind of like on the toilet bowl, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, then, yeah, I definitely would have like kind of got in one of these like sumo, and I just would have came down right over the top. Yeah.
Yeah, you just fucking explode one of these crabs. It's like goop kind of strings over the walls of the toilet stall, and you hear the kind of like clatter of its shell clanking against the ceiling and the wall. One of them is just completely eviscerated. And Sebastian, I know you're watching, but you just saw one of the crabs absolutely explode, but you got 2 more, and one of them's kind of like making its way towards you, like doing its whole like, let's go, bro.
I like sigh and stand up and like brush off, and I'll flip out my switchblade that I keep on me for some. I assume it's like an old switchblade, like whatever year this is. It's like 40 years old at this point.
Yeah.
You know? And I'll go ahead and I'll stab at it. Give a little stab.
Yeah, hit me with that strength test.
I rolled 11 plus 1, 12.
Okay. Same thing. You're able to just like swoop this knife in, and you just have it like a popsicle. Like the crab is just kind of like on the end of your switchblade handle, and it very slowly stops moving. It's just very quickly killed.
Boom. I just pull out the switchblade and I wipe it off on body. And I like flick it closed and I sit back down, you know?
Love it. The one remaining crab that's not eviscerated is going to try to pinch Memo for that failed strike. So you're gonna roll an agility test to try to defend yourself here.
So I rolled a 3 and I have -2.
That's bad.
Yeah.
So it's like climbing up you, like chittering so fast, and you try to like quickly like brush it off, but it's pinching into your shirt as it climbs. So it's not just like you can just like brush it so easy, and it's gonna just clamp right onto your chin, and it's gonna do 4 damage. It'll like immediately break the skin, and you start to like bleed this black ichor down your chin and neck.
Oh shit.
That sucks.
Oh, so I'm potentially exposed if I turn around. Yeah, I mean if it's back to us, I'm
Yes.
getting that thing.
Yeah. So go for it.
Yeah, so I'm clawed in the face. Like, what the fuck, y'all have crabs? And I'm just gonna try and throw it at the bar.
Cool. Do it a strength test to see if you can do that.
19 + 1.
Hell yeah.
Redemption.
So, yeah. We'll say like somebody, for the sake of this like moment, somebody opened the bathroom door that wasn't locked, like doesn't lock, like you just can't lock it because this place sucks. And in that moment, they're like, oh shit, somebody's in here. They turn around, the crab zooms over their shoulder. They don't even like really know what happened. They kind of feel the whiff. And you just like fling it like a frisbee. It like ricochets into the dumbwaiter that just goes down, and you just see it like it is gone. So the 3 crabs have been swiftly disposed of. You're in the bathroom with the overflowing toilet and body, who is soaking wet with toilet water.
Oh god. Yeah, I'm gonna do like a full motion spin, so I'm facing back, so I'm kind of covered still. And I guess just use like my shirt. I think I have some sort of a jacket too. So
Yeah,
just gonna kind of for now just be like this and
cool.
It's a good look.
thank you, 13.
Yeah, so fight's over. As you're kind of like coming down from, and this was brief. This was like this whole exchange happened in like probably 10 seconds of just, ah shit, there's crabs, and then they're gone. The toilet kind of like stop, like you can hear that sort of hiss from the toilet bowl, but there's no more water coming out. It's like the room is pretty, it's got maybe half an inch of accumulated water that's spilling out into the pit room, but the water stops running. And yeah, what's next for the gang?
We should dunk his face in and wake him up.
I was thinking a very similar thing.
The exact same thing. I literally was just gonna like pick him up and just like dunk, like just fucking. Then yeah.
Yeah, I mean, hop off to standing. You know.
Yeah.
What? So it's a toilet, and is there actually like a
seat?
No, the thing behind the seat, like an actual like
tank.
Tank? Is there an actual tank?
Yeah.
I would like to, because I assume this is a small, tiny little thing. I would like before I'm gonna pick up Sebastian under his arms and put him on the tank.
Sure.
He looks at you so indignantly.
I'm beaming as I do this. Oh, I got you, little buddy, and I'll stick him up there, and I'll say that too to him. Oh, I gotcha. I won't pat his head, even though I want to, because he's old as fuck, which means he's probably really powerful. And then yeah, like me and Memo will just kind of like take him in, close the stall door behind us, and then just kind of like just dunk him in there, you know, take turns. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, like he comes to, but he's fucked up, And
Yeah.
he's what the, like trying not to barf. Um,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Oh, hey, buddy. How's it going?
Uh, what the fuck is this?
Oh, hey, so we're just looking for Dakota, and I don't know, you weren't feeling well and you passed out. We're just kind of we woke, yeah, we woke you up a little bit, splash a little water in your face. Here, let me give you a little more, and I'm gonna like dunk him like a bunch more times, and then bring him back up.
Yeah, he's not doing great. He um he's trying not to throw up.
Oh, you don't feel so good, buddy? Is that
Remember when
you
I
got?
said you just need to give us a little information?
Uh he like look like all fucked up, looks up and just sees Sebastian at the back of the toilet. He's like, what the fuck? What?
And Sebastian like has a wide, terrifying smile. I assume that his teeth do not look like normal people teeth. They are all kinds of fucked up. Because he's so bored and this is so much fun for him to watch. So
I'll say, Sebastian, because of where you are looking down on this whole thing, you can see a Ziploc bag full of pills that's like plugging up the toilet that's causing it to flood.
what's this? And I like lean over and I like I feel like he like when you go touch your toes, but you watch like a weird yoga person do it and then go so far past their toes, does that
Yeah.
and grabs it and stands all like slithers all the way back up to standing.
Yeah, some cartoon logic.
How uncomfortable can I make this guy's movement? Also, by the way, as we go through, because I'm gonna do it, and I hold up the bag of pills. I'm like, interesting.
But yeah, so body's all fucked up. What do you guys want? What the fuck?
Hold his head up. Hold his head up. Let me see.
Oh, listen, I know how to torture somebody, Sebastian. All right, calm down.
I just want a single eyeball.
So here's the thing. We just want to know some information about where the fuck Dakota is. This isn't hard. But this creepy fuck's gonna take your eyeball if you don't tell us.
I'm gonna take an eyeball.
Yeah, see? And listen, and I'm just gonna take literally everything else. So you could just tell us anything about where Dakota is, and we can decide what to do with you after.
I don't know fucking shit. I'm just some fucking guy. What the hell?
Do we believe him?
Oh, I am waiting for the chance to ram one of my long fingernails directly into his eyeball like a weird little freak. So don't ask me, man.
Is
Oh, right.
is there like capability to like erase memory and stuff, or
Yeah, it's called death.
Yeah, some vampires can glamour and like manipulate people's minds. You can presume, I guess, like if vampires can do it, then witches can probably do it. Then like yeah, it's entirely possible this dude's brain is scrambled. It's also impossible that he's lying, and it's also possible that neither of those happen and he's just a fucking idiot.
So here's
anyway.
the thing. Yeah. So I'm gonna ask you one more time, right? Because after that, either you're lying to us, and I will literally slaughter you, or you're telling us the truth and you're fucking useless to us. So here's the thing. You either tell us where Dakota is, or the three of us will fucking eat you.
We hooked up like twice. I don't even know his last name. Like, this is not a. I don't fucking know.
Where's the last place you saw him?
At your house.
Okay, hold his head up.
Yeah, I I think that's it. Memo.
I guess okay. What did you guys do while you were here? Is there somewhere that he would be taken, since you know?
I don't
What he
know.
is?
I haven't seen him since we got here.
Hmm. Listen, children. I have found some interesting information at the bar, so why don't we dispose of this one and I'll regale you with my tale of drinking.
Fine. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. I'm gonna pull his head back and aim his eyes up towards you.
I'm just gonna poke him in the eye really hard.
Yeah.
It's just like extremely hard.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make you roll. You just get a little eyeball skewer going.
We
All right,
probably
well,
should
then
have
at that
wailing in pain.
We probably should have trigger
Yeah.
warning this episode at the beginning for the fact that we're playing as terrible vampires in a Mork Borg-esque hack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at that point, if he's wailing and stuff, I'm literally just gonna keep his head pulled back and just like right into his fucking throat and just rip his throat out, but like be drinking it and just like pouring it into the toilet bowl.
Yeah. You
Memo?
can do that.
I was gonna feed too. I feel like you shouldn't rip his throat out though, because you don't get blood, because he'll sour if he's dead.
He's not. It takes a while to. It's not instant. Okay, like I mean,
yeah.
it's
When you play
draining now.
when
So
you play
drink
with the
or
EMT.
Yeah, I'm
drink or
drinking.
not.
I'm drinking separate puncture.
Yeah,
and
you
I'll
both
drink
get,
until it starts to sour. You know.
you both get D2 blood.
Shit, I'll drink a little bit as well.
Blue.
Yeah, fuck it. Hunter,
I'll
you can
splash
top
some, I
yourself
betcha.
off.
Yeah. No, I can 3.
I got 2 blood.
Dope.
Blood. 2 out of
Okay.
3.
Shouldn't have been a dickhead, buddy.
I'm gonna pat him down.
Nice.
Yeah, he's got a wallet and keys. Has maybe like a little thing of Coke.
Dope. I'll
in
take
his-
all that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And also for the record, Sebastian, you got a bag of uppers that were clogging the toilet. You can snort them or swallow them to get double movement until sunrise. But there's a 1 in 6 chance that you overdose when you take them and immediately go to 0 HP.
I think I'm gonna keep them as a currency
just
to
have them in your bag. That's how they are for now. I would love to. This is obviously the first time it's being played. I would love to make some more robust drug stuff going on here, but for the sake of this adventure, those are just some speeds.
Cool.
Dope.
All right.
So I am going to go ahead and regale everyone with the tale of my grabbing a drink at the bar, dumbwaiter, the weird, like sulfuric, like almost demonic drink that definitely had hints of vampire blood. Yeah.
Weird.
Cool.
Well, we're looking
Do you
for a
think-
vampire, so
Yeah. Yeah. So you think they took it from someone unwillingly, or do you think a vampire willingly was just like, oh, you need one of those? Drip, drip, you know?
I guess we won't know until we go see.
That's true. So this guy, like, I assumed we had him kind of like laid at the bowl, eyeball poked out, we did it, and now we just like put his head in the water. And
Yeah.
it's all just like full of red water that's like kind of pouring all over the floor now.
Yeah, the water stopped flowing, so it's just kind of pooling, but it's exactly that, just a little corpse in the toilet.
Dope.
Not a
Sick.
problem.
I'm gonna go clean up, touch up my makeup a little bit. All right.
Yeah, by now I'm not bleeding or anything.
No, it's so actually since you fed, the wound is
Oh yeah.
closed.
Oh yeah.
Well-
and you heal, yeah.
Yeah. So what we doing now?
I think now we should sneak downstairs. Now we're not weighted with a potential and now actual corpse. Ah, Y'all ever
Yeah,
seen the
let's
last
get.
Twilight movie where they one vampire?
I've not
Said
seen any
that?
Twilight movies. No, I have not.
Bro, you're sleeping on those. They're awful. You should watch them.
Maybe one day. Maybe one day. Yeah, that's. I mean, sure. Let's fucking do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lead the way, you little creepy fuck.
So I like in the understanding that we're like things are about to get probably worse, especially his long hair. Like he like pulls his like rubber band off and he ties up his hair. This is acting for me because I don't have hair, so I get to experience this in play. And he's like, "Let us go," and we walk out the door casual like.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, no one really bats a lash at you.
Cool.
Like you said, it's not that weird for a group of people to go into one stall together at this place.
Yeah. Sure. We're a group of normal looking people too. None of us look weird at all. So
Yeah, yeah.
It's not that none of you look weird, it's that everyone looks weird, so it's fine.
That's so funny. Yeah, I guess we're going to try to make it down those stairs.
You're able to, no problem. I think maybe the singer of the band kind of like gives you a side eye while you're walking past the stage, but they're in the middle of a song and he's not trying to interrupt. He's trying to be professional, you know?
Also,
So,
maybe it's kind of that thing where it's like if you act like you should be somewhere, people are less likely to like, you know.
Yeah. There's no security over there. You're able to just get downstairs. And I've shared in Discord a map of the downstairs. It definitely has some stuff you shouldn't know, but we'll just roll with it anyway. As you reach the bottom, so it goes down, turns 180, goes down like a half flight, half flight. So you're underneath the stage now in what's effectively just a concrete floor common space. There's some support beams that are covered with stapled up posters for past and future shows. Um, there's some stain, like the floor is just kind of sticky with old beer and some like spilled blood. And you see like a bunch of closed doors around you. There's one of them's labeled with just a like a laminated piece of printer paper that says radioactive. That is presumably the green room where they would just put whatever band is playing every day and put that label there. And you can also see that there's like the door right in front of you, right? Like as you descend in straight in front of you, has like a little glass opening with the like chain in it or whatever, the like fencing in it so that you can't break through. And you can see the lights on and somebody's working in there.
Wait, so you said they're working in which room?
Like so it's number 2 on the map.
Okay.
Just straight in front of you is a lit room with a little bit of like see-through glass part.
We just fed, so I feel like really just confident and also suspecting foul play. So I think I would just go up and knock on 2, unless anyone has hesitation about it.
Good by me.
Yeah.
You hear a woman yell out, "What do you want?"
Hey, we have a problem out here. We just need can we talk to you about it?
Hurry up.
Is the door unlocked?
Yeah.
Cool.
As you open it, you see there's this woman behind her desk. She's signing a bunch of paperwork. The radio's on. It's playing WSCB, which is like you all know because you listen to it every day too. It's like the sort of Scab's local radio. It's like actually kind of cool. They have pretty reliably good DJs, and it's also how a lot of these sort of magical underbelly of the city can communicate with one another by requesting songs or speaking in kind of like coded language, buying ads or whatever on the radio station. So she's listening to the radio. she's signing these papers. She's wearing these really long, like floral print, flowy garbs. Has really long, kind of dready hair, and she doesn't even look up from what she's doing and says, "What do you guys want?"
Is she human? Does she smell human?
She smells human.
Hello.
Hey, you smell human.
That that voice immediately, like she like looks up from her contract and she goes, "Fucking vampire! What the fuck do you want?"
I'm walking behind the desk. I'm going like right next to her.
I believe we're looking for a friend.
She like as soon as Memo starts coming, she like kind of pushes her chair out from her desk and like kind of like readies her body.
You want
I
to tell
look
us about your drink upstairs?
You like it?
No, we don't fucking like it.
Um, well, we got beer. What else you want?
Child, where does the vampire blood come from for your special drink upstairs?
Uh, she looks at you and she says, a more virile source. I'm not actually hiring right now.
I hop up onto the desk because I'm a little guy, you know. Do you know a name, Dakota Shreveport?
Do you know the name Ligma?
God damn it.
What, Sebastian? Do you?
I,
Do you,
Hunter, know this
Sebastian?
joke, but like Sebastian being like the most boomery vampire ever, I'm unfamiliar with the name Ligma.
She goes, then Ligma balls or get the fuck out of my office.
Damn it. I
She fucking got
resent
you,
you
you
for
creepy little
making me
fuck.
walk into that one. You know?
She fucking got you. That's funny. What's your name, bitch?
She stands up now and she's taller than you are on top of her desk.
Well, that's not hard.
And she says, "This is your last chance to leave the spot right now. Willingly."
And 13, are you next to the door?
I didn't really go in too far, so I think if you're on the desk and he's by the desk, yeah, I'm probably by the door-ish. Yeah.
I look back, I'm like, 13, close the door and come in, won't you?
As soon as you say that, she's going to cast a spell. She casts
Whoa.
She's a witch. Ugh.
she casts a spell called God's Fist, where she is going to like punch out and just like send like a beam of force basically at 13 before you can close the door.
I didn't even say anything.
I support this.
All right.
So you got to
Bring
do
the
an
heat.
agility test to
Agility.
evade God's Fist.
-1. 13 -1. 12.
So and sorry, there's two fists here. So you'll dodge
Oh,
the
dope.
first one. Would you roll a second one for the
Ooh.
second fist?
10 -1. That'd be a 9.
So the first one, actually, let's just like reverse them for the sake of narrative. That she just like cast this spell. You see, like almost like as she extends her arm, this kind of like spectral, phantasmal shape of a fist exit her fist. God,
Yeah,
this
she
is
fist me.
exactly like the Greenhorn game, isn't it?
I didn't even connect the dots. That's great.
And the
No,
fists
you're
go flying at you. The first one just clocks your jaw, and as it kind of like it's so forceful that it kind of knocks you out of the way of the second fist, that then goes past you and smashes against one of those support beams in the cement room. Some staples and some old posters just kind of like flutter off of the beam. And you're going to take D6 damage, which I'll roll,
Sick.
and is a 6.
That's awful.
Yeah.
What all can I use blood for again? This is just powers.
So, yes, blood is how you cast most of your spells. And also most of the classes have powers that you can use blood for. And then blood is sort of, as like a peek behind the curtain, a supplantation of omens in Mork Borg. So part of what we are doing part of what my goal is in this test is like, how do you use blood for not spell casting? Since you're a strength character, you're probably not carrying any spells. I think you can, so for the sake of future rolls, you can spend 1 blood to get +1 on your dice rolls. Just 1 to 1. And then if you deplete them, you got to feed again. So rather than being a meta currency, it's the opposite of that. It's a currency within the game. So like you control how much you ever have at a given point.
Gotcha. Is it how difficult is it normally going to be to feed? Because like a +1 on a D20 is pretty small, as opposed to like
feed whenever you want,
something.
Really.
Okay, gotcha.
I feel like we've been pretty hesitant just because we know it's like anti-vampire and we don't want to out ourselves.
Yeah. That's very fair. And I think that's probably smart. I think the way I would consider it, like, because one of the major vampire inspirations here is Buffy the Vampire Slayer, that like a vamp could drain somebody in the pit and no one would really notice because it just looks like people making out or whatever. Like,
cool.
It's kind of dope. And like you said,
really
like people black out. It's kind of okay. No one's really paying attention.
So kind of a pillar of Blood Borg is like the ease at which vampires can feed regularly.
You can feed all the time. That's basically, so yes, great highlight is like one of the important functions of Blood Borg is that you're feeding and spending and feeding and spending and feeding and spending. It is kind of an additional like micro system on top of just the regular skill check thing.
Cool.
Yeah, I like the idea that it like takes it's potentially like something you spend an action on during combat too. It's like, oh, hey, I'm gonna go get yeah.
Feeding is like an attack, so like, yeah, you could bite in the middle of it does very little damage, but the idea that you get more blood and then you could turn around and use a power is kind of the intent there.
That's really cool.
I'm making a note. Besides the spend 1 blood, get +1, which I agree is minor, to make sure every class has something cool to do with it.
What if it was like for the combat players, instead of like a +1, since so much of the game is like dice rolls and stuff, like the armor, for example, is like a D4. What if it was like a D4 instead of 1, and that would give an option for kind of like a swinginess in combat instead of just like a 1 for 1?
Oh, you mean like spend a blood and get plus D4?
Yeah, so like if I'm saying like, oh, I'm trying to avoid on this check, it could be like, okay, like I spend a blood and I get like a D4 for the check. That's just just throwing that out there.
Yeah, I'm taking notes. So cool. Good to know. For now, as we'll dive back into this fight, we'll just say like, yeah, you can spend a blood to get a +1, and as I like reformat the next thing, but before my next play, I'll make sure that every class has something cool that's worth spending blood on, because I think most of them do, but I also off the top of my head can't think of what they all are. So
well, my class has free abilities, like learned and keen sense are great abilities. They don't cost anything though.
So yeah, generally each class should have 1 free one and 1 blood one.
Dope. Cool. All right, well, you did max damage on me, which is 6, and I rolled a 2 on my D4 armor, so I took 4 damage from that knock.
Yeah.
That's half my HP.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not knocked out. For some reason I thought you were knocked out because
No,
I
because I get plus toughness I get toughness plus 8 HP, so I got 8 HP.
nice.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you got attacked because I think
because that would have killed
Sebastian
me.
and I are both. Yeah,
Yeah.
I only have 5 health. So
Whose turn?
It's your gang's turns. Yeah, you just saw her, punch your dude from far away, and she's not fucking around.
yeah, I think the first thing I want to use the force teleport, even though we're in a small area. What that allows me to do is push anything within arm's rate up to 10 feet. So I think what I want to do is just like completely clear like the desk and everything because I'm on that side and like push her into the wall. So Sebastian has like easy go.
If you do that, Sebastian will fly too because he's on top of the desk.
You're right. Then you said feeding's a D4.
Feeding does D4 damage, yeah.
I'm gonna do that.
Cool. So since you're in combat, I'll have you do it like you would do an attack roll. It's difficulty 12. I'll let you sort of decide how you approach and whatever stat you want to do to manage that. Because this is not just a strength thing.
So before I actually do that, what would be the main difference between using like my claws, which are D4, and then feeding? If there's like a benefit to using the weapon over feeding?
So you can only have up to 3 blood in your stomach. I think there should have to be some kind of penalty for like feeding if you're full. To sort of manage that, because you're right. Like if they're both doing D4 damage, why wouldn't you do the one that helps you every time?
Yeah.
You
might also, only if you're like taking suggestions. I don't even know if this is the right one, but you might also like give it a disadvantage of some sort. Like
feeding in combat is harder.
Yeah. Well, because you'd have to be so close.
Damage.
I feel like in this situation, I'm like right on her. She chose not to attack me, which is great for me. So like it's kind of the same. I feel like maybe, well, I'm not running the game, but maybe it just would be waived for that reason alone in this situation. But if it's all the same, I'm feeding for this game. I'm feeding.
Yeah, right. That makes sense. Is a good thing to think about. For the sake of now, why don't you choose a stat, and like however your approach, like you said, you already write up on there.
Strength, I think, if I'm choosing, I would choose strength just because I'm there and I'd want to kind of have some sort of.
It definitely makes the most sense, but I also assumed you didn't have strength for some reason, so.
I have +1 strength and -2 agility, and then I have +1 presence. So, but I think presence is more like spells and stuff, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I already rolled, and I rolled a 2.
Okay.
So, witch girl. So it's a 3 total. I'm just gonna like.
Yeah, I think she just ducks your like approach, and maybe you kind of like spill over. You're like kind of behind her, but she's gonna like do a back body drop, kind of like you're on the ground.
Yeah. Okay.
And Sebastian, you're just on her desk.
I am. So as this is all happening, Sebastian, like from I'm wearing like a fairly, I guess those like comfy pants I'm wearing have deep pockets. So I reach in my pocket, I pull out this like decrepit looking black zine with red like writing on it, and I flip it open, and I dig my long nails into my hands just for a little blood, and I will go ahead and I'll cast magic weapon, and I'll spend 2 blood to cast it.
Dope.
And because it's a spent one, there's no roll, right? I just do cast
Correct.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
And I summon like, I feel like an S-stock or like a very classic like fencing style weapon. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, it doesn't matter. something old and pointy that he would have used 1,000 years ago. And I summon it into my hand. I can't cast and attack at the same turn, can I?
No, but I just added
Okay.
to the spell because this makes sense. That you're going to use presence to attack with it rather than strength, because
Oh,
this is
cool.
a spell.
Okay.
That should help you.
I have 0 presence and +1 strength. So actually,
All right.
I mean, I think that
That's just a
rule
weird,
makes.
that's on you. That's a weird build.
Yeah, well,
It's a weird.
I didn't. I think your rule makes sense. So, but yeah, I was going for a tiny, strong guy. Like the joke is just when it came up, I was just gonna be like, yeah, he's actually like incredibly strong for the.
I picture the leech as like a bookworm, like an
Yeah.
old mage.
That does make sense, but I do have a weird build because I'm a
Yeah,
weird
but
little guy. So
He's been picking up those books for
I
so
love it.
long, and he has to put them so
Yeah.
high on the shelf. He's just had to
Listen.
get a workout.
the build is whatever you want it to be. Whether or not it makes sense is a totally different thing.
Yeah, you're magical boomy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to fudge the rules too much while we're going, because that's
No,
obviously
totally.
part of the test is seeing what is and isn't intuitive.
Yeah.
But I just made a note of that.
Okay.
So 13, you just got decked in the face, but you still get a turn this round.
Yeah. I'm just gonna be like, whoo, man, she's got she can swing. And I want to do like my best like Harley Quinn impression. Like strut, like hip swaying, bat spinning, the whole fucking thing that she does, you know? And kind of like skip at the end and try to like, you know, like Joaquin Phoenix at the end of that terrible fucking M. Night Shyamalan movie with the alien with this teeth bat right on this lady's face.
Okay. Roll strength.
Okay. 20. Is this an instance where you have anything where I can like spend blood to gain anything or just no on this?
Yeah,
Oh, it
we'll
doesn't
do
matter.
that from now on. Okay, doesn't matter.
I rolled a 13 plus 2, so I got a 15. Unless I need more than that because it all spent blood.
No, that's good.
Okay.
And how much damage do you do?
Baseball bat with teeth is D10. So let me roll that. 7.
All right. Yeah, you give her to go with this allegory or whatever comparison, you give her that Joker smile. It like the teeth tear into her cheek and you see the blood kind of splatter on the back of her office wall. And she spits out a big like wad of that thick blood from her mouth. Even like she'll spit out one of her teeth too, and you kind of see it and it almost like listens to you. And so she is going to counter. She's mad. She's like, actually, I'm gonna do a morale roll because it's Mork Borg. And she says, like her fingers are like fizzing like sparklers. And she's like, last chance, seriously, get the fuck out. She's gonna give you a break in the in the action to reassess.
I'm gonna hold up my hand, and another hand is gonna like crawl up and around me out of my jacket and crawl down my arm onto my hand, and it's gonna pop up and turn over and do like the "come at me, bro" thing, before it like crawls up onto my shoulder.
Sebastian, what happened to you? I can't remember.
I summoned a bloody, rotten Estoc from my own blood, and yeah,
So
that was
you're
my
just
action.
So she's.
But I feel like when she does that, I do like the fencer stance with one hand behind the back, you know, and I'm like,
yeah, you're doubling down here. She's going to cast God's Fist again, This time both arms go out like Power Ranger style. She's gonna send one to 13 for that tooth bite, and the other to Sebastian, who's kind of taunting from right up close, since Memo's kind of on the
On the
ground.
ground behind her.
Not an immediate threat, still a
Go
threat.
go
But
Power Rangers.
yeah. So you both need to roll agility tests. That difficulty is 12.
14 minus 1. 13, baby.
And Ryan?
Oh, I thought it was Sebastian and Memo. Bob. I don't know why.
No, I'm the least threatening.
I rolled an 18 plus, what did we roll?
Dex. Or agility.
Ability.
-1,
Agility.
17.
You both are able to get out of the way before the impact. And again, you see the impact hit like the walls behind you, and paperwork and all the shit on her desk, everything's just like flying around the room. Like it's a little calamitous. It's not a very big space.
I do like a little dexterous twirl, you know?
Yeah. All right. Your turn. The three of you in whatever
I'll hit her.
sequence.
I'm gonna hit her with the weapon.
Yes, dope.
You said I'm rolling presence to hit?
Yes. So the magic weapon, which needs a cooler name, does D6 damage on a hit, and additional D4 to living beings, which she is. So if you use this against a vampire, it would not do that extra damage.
I rolled an 18.
All right.
And then I also rolled 2 damage on D6 and 3 damage on D4 because I rolled them all at once.
Okay. Yeah, describe you got like a fencing sword, right?
I do. Yeah, so like it's very much like she did a front punch. I like it's like almost like a gallop step forward, and then you like lean, you know, and just like poke, you know, and then pull back.
Yeah. And as you poke with this weapon that's made of coagulated blood, you can see it almost kind of like spiral down, like her fresh blood kind of like mix into it and absorb it. And she like winces from the pain, and she like screams out. Yeah, whichever 13 or Memo, whoever wants to go next.
Go for it.
Dang. Well, yeah. So I'm on the ground. I'm just gonna get up in a really like smooth, like cool way. Like I mean, I'm a handsome Latin fella is what I am. So I'm very smooth, and I'm gonna claw at the legs, at the calves.
Great. Yeah, roll a strength test.
19 plus 1.
You guys are nuts. Yeah, so
For
roll your damage.
vampires.
Yeah.
It's like the best I've ever rolled in a game. I'm just gonna throw that out.
It's funny
there.
too, because it's like, I don't know. You said y'all haven't played a Mork Borg in a while. They're fucking hard.
Yeah.
And part of the approach here was like, okay, your vampires, you're a little stronger than normal. So I don't necessarily want to make it easier, but I want to make it more bombastic. And I guess I did, because like there's a lot of blood flying around in this.
In all fairness, I feel like this is like without these really good rolls, this is a really heavy damage encounter.
For sure. Yeah. She's sort of the boss of this part. So like she could be kicking your ass, but everything is just going crazy with dice.
Yeah. I rolled a 3 for damage.
3
No,
for
you're good.
damage. All right. She like drops to a knee because you claw the back of her calf, and she's on like one knee now, like screaming out. You see behind you 13, because you didn't close the door on your way in. A couple normies like look in and scream in terror, and they run upstairs.
I thought I did, but I guess I got punched before and didn't think about it. Yeah. Oh well, fuck them. And I'm just gonna do a called Babe Ruth shot over the wall. You know, it's one of those, and then just kind of, you know,
Yeah.
and see what happens. Well, I rolled a nat 20.
Okay.
Um,
I think you just do the max damage then, which is 10, right?
yeah. I mean, if a crit is just max damage, then yeah, it's a 10.
I don't really actually have crit rolls yet, so it just makes sense in this instance that you hit that home run. You know?
Yeah.
This is wild.
So
We got to start putting the dice up on the screen so people believe some of these high
yeah,
rolls
I like
sometimes.
that you put the screenshot in because it's so unbelievable.
Oh yeah. So for podcast land, and I guess everyone else that doesn't know, we're all in a Discord channel together, and anytime I get a roll that's like, that seems like really high or really good for the situation, I screenshot it and put it into our Discord so that the other three believe me that I really did roll a 20.
Yeah. So you're gonna, without ever having learned her name, you're going to knock this chick to another plane of existence.
She started
I
it.
think for the sake of extremity, you got a good jump start with that first toothblade strike. On the second, you're gonna cleave all the way through and just leave this bottom jaw attached to a neck of a lifeless corpse, kind of like splurt some blood upward in that fireworks display of death. Yeah, that you all will just get covered in as the top of her head goes flying off backwards, and around her neck, this is so extra and like gamey. She has a set of keys on a necklace that's like swinging around, and it kind of like swings off since there's no head to keep it there, and it just lands on the desk in front of you.
I'll pick it up.
Dope. When I inspect my bat, are there any teeth sticking into it?
Oh yeah.
Sick.
Would you prefer some canines or some molars? Some like fresh.
I mean, a little bit of both is fine. Whatever.
You took
stuck.
the half of her head. I guess more than half of her head, but like half of her teeth are gone. They're not attached to her body anymore.
Yeah.
So like, you got some fresh
a wisdom tooth.
Greats.
Don't really see those often. Yeah. Yeah, and any of the extra ones laying around, I'll just pocket in case I need to pop some more in the bat.
Yeah, just if you want to write that on your inventory, you got a handful of witch teeth.
Yeah. I imagine this bat at this point, like, is almost, gosh, I'm trying to think of like that. I think it's an island weapon where they have like is it obsidian teeth? You know what I'm talking about? Like, it's kind of like that at this point where it's just, there's teeth to the point where it's like a saw.
Yeah, so that was sort of the motivation or the intent behind that weapon.
Perfect.
But it also sounds like because you're using a round, like a baseball bat, which is round, that it's like that curved around itself. Like, it's so gross.
It's awesome. I love this so much. Yeah. It's like a bat saw.
Very appropriate for the serial killer edgelord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay.
We've killed her.
This still now, like the radio's still playing. You can hear upstairs there's still music going on. What do you do next? There's a dead body and you got some keys.
Well, we just were seen, so we should probably move quickly.
You guys saw that though? Did you see that?
I did see that.
When I did the point thing?
You
guys saw all that? Yeah.
I was there when Babe Ruth did it.
You see, and I put the bat in Mimo's face. I'm like, you see the bonus teeth? You see that? That's a wisdom tooth, buddy. Yeah, do you see that?
I'm really happy for you.
Let's leave this room immediately.
Yeah.
As we step out of this room, I mean, do whatever you're gonna do first, but then Oh, you said I was gonna say I'm gonna lock the door behind because I'm gonna try the keys and try to lock the door.
Yeah,
yeah.
It takes a couple keys, but you can lock the office.
Cool. You guys want to start poking around other rooms?
Before we leave, if I can rewind
before we
us
leave, sure.
bit, does she still have the scroll or the zine?
Oh,
Like,
so
can I pocket that?
since she's a witch, she doesn't cast from zines. She just knows magic. But if you want to raid her desk, or say that you raided her desk before you left, you can actually roll a d4. I'll tell you which zine you get.
Oh, hell yeah. 4.
Yeah, you get God's Fist. It does 2 missiles that are each d6 damage.
What's the cost of it?
It's let's say it's 1 blood per missile, so you could actually like under or overcharge it.
Perfect.
For her, it cost her life. Did you get that? Because she died when she did it to us. Did you guys get that? This is all in character.
I love that Marco's frozen in that joke so that no one laughed.
There he's back.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I did hear what it was though, so we're good.
He heard it. He did not laugh, but let's go.
I don't know what's happening. My internet is being awful. I thought it was
good.
fixed,
That was funny.
You're good. I just have the bloody bat over my shoulder now, and I'm like strutting around like wherever we're going. I'm following Sebastian. I'm taking like twice as long because I'm like S-turning around, just like I'm on blood. I'm just so happy.
How long does my magic weapon last?
Until you would reach 0 HP.
Oh, cool. So I have it still. So
yeah,
perfect.
As you walk out and lock the office behind you, you can see the door to the green room is open, and it's a fucking mess in there, but it seems like it was evacuated. During the violence, it seems like everyone split.
But we still hear music upstairs, right?
Yes.
There were other people there. That makes sense. That's why they were downstairs.
Yeah, I guess we'll just start going through and opening doors, unless anyone else has a plan.
Yeah, I think we're looking for the locked
and I'm just gonna be like with my bat, like when I open the door. I'm like off a rocker at this point. I give 0 fucks. I'm covered in blood. I killed a couple people. I'm stoked.
Yeah, so like in 3 you see the green room. It's a fucking mess. There's like chips everywhere, empty beer bottles. It's just like the couch is overturned. But there's no one left in here.
Is there any like lighters or anything laying around the green room? Were they like smoking cigarettes or anything?
For sure.
I'm gonna pocket a lighter if that's okay.
Yeah, it's all yours. Yeah, there's within the green room there's another bathroom, but it's closed. Then if you want to continue or checking doors, is that what you said the plan was?
Yeah.
Next up on 4, I don't know if you're sharing this map or if you looked at it. I sent it to the Discord a minute ago. 4 is a closet. It's got a bunch of bullshit in here. Toilet paper, plastic cups, cleaning supplies. There's some chains, some padlocks, broom, shovel, just kind of generic supply closet.
Is there anything in the cleaning supplies that has a flammable warning?
Oh yeah, there's like Windex is flammable, right? I'm pretty sure it's like mostly alcohol.
Probably, I can't remember. But I'll just if there's a bottle with a warning that says flammable, I'm just gonna pick it up and bring it with us.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, some aerosol spray. Yeah.
Well, I also have a flask of gasoline, so we're just when we leave, we're gonna leave nothing. So.
Oh, we all live together in a house, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab like a bottle of like Windex and something else and just like hook it on the back of my pants and just be like, we're out at home, so this is as good a time as any. Realistically, I mean, this works for us. I wish I could take the TP too. Hey, grab one of those. And I have my hand like go down and grab like a roll of toilet paper and it's just gonna carry it with us.
Yeah, I want a little thrill too, so I'm gonna get a chain. That's what I'm gonna get.
Dope.
There you go.
Cool.
Next up, there's a locked door You have the keys, so no problem here. This is a little shitty studio apartment
Mm.
that seemingly the woman that you killed was sleeping in. You can see some other like flowery dresses in like a heap of laundry. There's a stained mattress with no fitted sheet on the ground. Um, there it's shit. It's like an ass apartment in the bottom of a venue. Like it's not nice.
Right.
Um, there's that. There's no people in here.
Cool.
I guess are you looking for anything in particular, or you're
I mean, so witches
obviously
don't
looking
need
for
beans
Dakota,
to
but-
cast, right? So they wouldn't have any.
so witches can learn zines from spells,
Hmm.
or sorry, spells from zines.
Gotcha.
So like a wizard would maybe have a collection
Hmm.
of tomes. She might have like some zines around.
Okay, I think we'll maybe flip the room real quick. Pull out
Yeah.
dressers and drawers, and
Under her mattress, she's got 2 random spell zines and $50 in cash. So if you want to, or I'll actually just roll 2d20 and I'll tell you what those random zines are. One of them is punishment. For 2 blood, you can cancel incoming damage from up to 3 hits. Your body withstands more pain than most. Subsequent attacks after those 3 do maximum damage until you rest. So you basically get like auto cancel 3 hits and then max damage any after that. Do you like to gamble? The other one is shift. You can spend 2 blood to take a bestial form. Then you return to your shitty corpse at 0 HP, and there's 6 your D6 little animals that you can turn into when you cast that.
I feel like those are both great for both of you. Like, I feel like there's a very clear, and I'll take the $50 if that's cool with everybody.
Yeah. I mean,
I'll take another zine.
the masochist that has a spell called punishment.
Yeah.
Where I don't take punishment and then take too much punishment. Yeah, I'll take that all day. Twice on Saturday,
Yeah, and then Marco, you can take the shift zine. Both shift
Sure.
and punishment cost 2 blood.
Sick.
I'll also
Dope.
say, well, no, never mind. I was gonna say you're topped up, but it was after you severed her head, so that blood's no good.
Yeah.
The blood's still pumping.
It's more of a spiritual death.
What is life and death really?
Yes.
Purely
Yeah,
mechanical function. So we'll keep moving through these rooms.
Okay. So you're at 6 now, which is another locked door that you're able to unlock with the keys from her neck. This is where the alcohol is kept. There are shelves of alcohol, or hard liquor bottles and crates of beer. There are 4 imps in here who are making drinks and sending them up and down the dumbwaiter.
Hello.
There's
Shit.
also towards the edge like a grate where the sewer will sort of collect all the spilled liquor and sweat, the imp sweat, and all this extra fluids that are flowing around the room. They got to drain to this sewer grate. One of the imps says, "Look at this! Take a look at this guy." To the little man, it's like they're smaller than you. They're like 2 feet tall, but they're still like denigrating to you.
Mm-hmm.
Family of yours? Is this?
Ah.
No. Oh, man, tough crowd.
Can I ask you a question?
Well, make it quick. I'm at work.
The drink you're making, where does the vampire blood come from?
It just points up, and there's like they've basically like running a line from what seems like the water system, like where the fire sprinkler would come from, is instead just like a little plastic tube that they're like dropping blood in from.
Interesting. Do you know where they procure the blood?
Uh, they just like shrug. They're like taking turns. They're almost like one of them will talk shit and then get in line to make a drink. They're all kind of like playing this cup game and having this conversation with you in not tan. I think tandem means two, but you know what I mean. In a chorus almost, like everybody's kind of doing it together.
So these are like those little weird alien things from Men in Black. Just like
Yeah.
talking shit and being all weird. And, gotcha. Cool.
So that line that they're like dripping blood from, can we follow it?
Yeah, it's a utility line. There is in the basement kind of I guess from here there's like a what looks like a closet door, like a shittier door.
Mm-hmm.
That goes into like a utility space. So that's what you want to do.
Gentlemen?
There's a couple furnaces, a couple water heaters, like more than one, that are all like linked up to these pipes in this utility system of the building. The room smells like rot, and Sebastian, because of your keen senses, you can smell specifically. This isn't just like the mold that you would expect in a dive bar like this. This is like flesh rot. This is the smell of death.
Okay, I guess we'll crack open one of these water heaters.
Yeah. Crammed inside of the metal casing of the water heater looks like hard to kind of differentiate where one body begins and another ends, but there's just like a heap of corpse in here. That you can see these lines kind of draining into the bottom of it where it goes into the water line.
I climb down a little bit, and I look back at the other two, and I'm like, I think we found our answer.
You can hear a voice muffled from within this water heater that you cracked open that's like, get me the fuck out of here.
I like reach in with my little feet kicking up, Yeah, and I'll reach towards the sound and pull it out.
Yeah, you grab what's like effectively a severed head of a vampire. That's like you can see all its cheekbones. It has like very little meat left on, very gaunt eyes that are kind of like glazed over, and it's trying to like talk kind of, but his jaw's kind of just like flopping there.
Can I pull out some other body parts and try to put them together?
Yeah. Absolutely. I'll let you make like
just the top half,
hideous half golem.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can just kind of like place some like Legos and they kind of click in.
Nice.
And you got half a guy.
Hi.
Okay. What? He like looks down like, dude, what are you doing?
Well, it was this or the pot right there, so
he's also just like dripping like bodily fluid. Like even he kind of like gags like, this shit is disgusting.
Well, do you know Dakota?
Yeah, I think he's in. Actually, I think like his arm will kind of like twitch. It's like, yeah, I think he's in there.
I guess I just keep fishing out Dakota's parts and try to put Dakota back together.
Yeah, you kind of end up with this puzzle pieces of like mismatched corpse parts.
Is Dakota's head in there?
Yeah, it'll take some shoveling or some sifting, but you're able to kind of like extract Dakota's head. And he's just like, what's up, dude?
I just disconnect the other head and put Dakota on. I don't care.
Yeah. He's like, well, let's go. I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, let's leave.
So I think you have like this naked Frankenstein Dakota. Like some of it's him and some of it's just whatever, and he just like doesn't like he's so ashamed and also completely drained and just like, let's fucking go home.
Can we swing by like the girls' room and see if she's got like a duffel bag or a backpack or something?
Yeah, so say
a big
she's
purse.
Got
Like,
yeah, there's she's got an empty JanSport or whatever.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, as we're leaving, I'm gonna start spreading chemicals on the ground, the flammable chemicals.
Oh yeah, naturally. Yeah, go on.
Because we're only dealing with this once. So yeah.
Yeah. Good call. This place sucks anyway.
Yeah. And then, I mean, are you guys good to leave? Like, what?
Yeah,
that's what
the
we're doing
imps
here.
aren't stopping
I'm
us.
good.
They're just going.
I think as we start going up the stairs, I light that lighter I picked up earlier and I just throw it back behind us.
Sorry, Ryan, do you have something?
I just if we're getting to a point where we're leaving, I want to picture the slow-mo
I was just gonna say the same
of the
thing.
3 vampires. Like, yeah.
I'm gonna throw my jacket around Dakota for the
nice.
record.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great. So he's naked.
I thought we put him in the JanSport. I thought we just tucked him in the backpack.
No, we built him. He's a whole person now. He can't fit in the backpack.
Oh, I thought we were just grabbing the backpack to stuff his parts in and leaving.
No.
Gotcha. No, we built a whole thing. Got it.
Mhm.
Got it. Well, he can get some ladies' underwear and like some stuff too. Like we can piece together an outfit for him. He's just like dripping out of it, you know?
He is naked except for Memo's jacket. So if you want to grab a dress.
I'm sure she's got some sweatpants or something in there that we could toss. Yeah.
Oh,
she was tall. She was big. Yeah.
Yeah. She's like 6'5".
Yeah. So exactly that. The 4 of you 3 and your homie Dakota, walk slowly past this shitty band, past these wasted normies and hipsters towards. I guess you go out it doesn't really matter, but you go out the alley or you go out the way you came in.
Probably the alley, right?
No, fuck
you
that.
want
Right out the front door.
Front door.
Yeah, because at this point it's on fire, so I assume like the guards and stuff, like the people are like running in, and if they're not, I'll be like, hey, it's on fire in there, bud.
Fire! Fire!
Yeah.
The sprinklers act. So we're gonna have the blade moment because the sprinklers start going off since you started a fire, but because they're linked into this vampiric water line, it's just spraying blood all over the spot. And in slow motion, it's raining blood, and you have this eruption of all these explosive chemicals in the basement behind you as you just swaggily walk out the front door of the spot.
Real quick, can I rip that chain off of like Memo's belt or whatever and like shut the front doors and just kind of like spin it in and just like twist it on? Like, yeah.
Yeah, I think that the other 3 like walk past the camera, right? And then you see the masochist in action, murdering every radioactive, especially.
I'm gonna like jog up behind and like take my bat and just like smack Dakota like on the arm, and it just like flops off and just like laugh and like run away.
Yeah, that's the end of our adventure. You managed to rescue some shape of Dakota Shreveport, and you also managed to kill the worst band in the city of Scab.
Vampire haters.
Vamp haters, yeah, they deserved it. And that's a little intro to Blood Borg, baby.
Fantastic. That was great.
That was so much fun.
Oh my god.
That was a good time for sure.
That was a blast.
Yeah.
Like with most games that we play together, I feel like you kick the tires a little bit and you're like, all right, then let's let it rip. Like, and I think this is a game that's obviously begging you to let it rip from character creation, like giving you the powers of that are even just having a class that's the masochist. It's like, go hard, buddy. So for the sake of this video being embedded on the Kickstarter page, Could I get a little praise from each of you in turn? Like, what were your thoughts? What was like a favorite standout moment? Just like, yeah, how are you feeling in the post game? Let's start with Ryan.
Let's start with Hunter. I feel like he had his
Hunter.
lips pursed, ready to say something.
I feel like there's something very satisfying that comes along with playing not a human character, which I know technically vampires are human, but there is this like freedom that you get when you play a non-human character, especially when you're given like the flavor that you're like, for me, for the leech, which is like an ageless vampire. It's been around forever. Like there's coagulated blood in their system older than other people. And it allowed me to like lean into being a weird guy with these like heightened senses and like almost like an inelegant like ancientness. And I think like for being like a Mork Borg hack, I think this is a really great use of that system. And it still felt very like you're a weird vampire, you know?
I think that sort of nihilism is obviously like an important theme in vampirism and immortal things. And I think you all took it in a cool way of like, that, and I think this is also a big theme in vampire media is like, if you're undead and you're not human anymore, then like what's holding you to any kind of moral standard? Obviously the masochist is the case study of this, but like even what you're describing, like you are so old that you just can be a little weirdo for fun because like you've experienced everything. And that's just a fun thing to get to experience. So I think that nihilism is definitely a central theme, but in a fuck it, let's party kind of way. And I think that's also in a way tied to why I used Mork Borg as my backbone. Say like, yes, the apocalypse is happening, but we're gonna go out hard. That's definitely like something a bell I wanted to ring on this game.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing about Mork Borg is it's such like it's a very simple system that works, and I wish that more people. One thing I've said from the beginning of Mork Borg, especially when so many people are making stuff for it, is like this game is so hackable. I don't need like a 50th supplement that's giving me more ways to have grow shit in a dungeon. Like use the system and give me something new, and I feel like this is such a good way to use Mork Borg because it still feeds into like the weird darkness that was like Mork Borg, but just transfers it to like this vampire state, which is so much fun. I fucking love vampires, and I love the flavor that you infuse in all your games. But this one, like, it's still the Mork Borg world. It's just like 2,000 years in the future is so fucking good, and yeah, I usually say, like, I love evil characters. I've run whole evil campaigns before, and one thing I always say is you don't always have to be the Joker. But then with the Masochist, I was like, yeah, but you kind of can be too if you want a little bit. It was just fun. Like, it felt clean. Like, I mean, we are seeing stuff that Stream didn't get to see. There's so much good flavor, so many good tables. The thing, it's just really, really fantastic. I'm super excited to play this again. And like I said, Mork Borg was a perfect backbone for this. Like I said, because it's such a nice adjacent-ish darkness. But definitely like a different flavor, a familiar but different flavor, which is really, really fun.
So thank you. How about Marco?
Yeah, I mean, I liked it a lot. I usually I'm not really like murder hobo-y necessarily by nature, but the adventure is very us versus them, which doesn't only exist from what I'm picking up. Doesn't only exist from like humans that hate vamps and vamps that hate at least humans that don't like them, but also with the class system, like you're always working
right
against something. Everything's bad. So because it took me a while until like Ryan was really like just really bad at body that I was like, yeah, well, he obviously a freaking asshole. Like he doesn't need to be here. And I like that, like it's like very survival related,
Yeah. I hesitated to call it survival horror, but it is horror and survival tied together because like you said, everyone hates you. The vampires hate you, people hate you, witches hate you, And so it is us against the world. And I think that is a theme that's common in a lot of my games because I want it to feel hard, like the world that we live in, but I also want there to be joy in your community. And like obviously it's this is a game that has a little more humor than I'm used to also. Which again kind of reflects how Mork Borg is like grimdark to the extent that it's funny. But
Like Gonzo. Yeah.
yeah, Gonzo, I mean, like I would say most of my work is Gonzo, this
Yeah.
included. And because I want it to be like I've got 10 homies and it's us against everybody all the time. And to me, in role-playing games and guess in reality, like there's comfort in that in your squad and being able to work together and like team up. And yes, you're vampires and you're nasty and you drink blood and you kill things, but like we all live together. We're going home after this to just sort of like chill. And like that's just such a cool vibe to me in RPGs is like we aren't unfortunate friends or like we're not doing the same job. It's like we're homies. Like we're doing all this shit together because we at the table are friends that are playing a game. And I want it to feel fun and like it's funny to think of like the friendship theme in the Grimdark game, but that really is meant to be heavily present here through and through. You grabbed toilet paper because we were out at home. Like,
That was such
Yeah.
a great
like
moment.
like that's dope. And it just again, like I mentioned early, that Cyber Metal 2012 kind of feels like a game about my 30s, that this game is a game about my 20s. And it really does feel like we're walking to the park at 2 a.m. just to see who's there. Or,
Mhm.
you know, like just like causing innocent trouble. This
Do
game
you
obviously is less
feel
innocent.
do you feel like your like the Grand Rapids, Michigan like music scene bleeds over into this as well?
Um, maybe when like from my younger time, yes, like
Yeah.
the DIY scene, trading zines, like that whole culture for sure. And even like I'm still developing a lot of aspects of Scab, the city, but
Mhm.
it is very much based on where I lived when I lived in Boston. So like there was a band that practiced underneath the subway and we lived a quarter mile from the river and we would go like run in the park. And I remember my friend was in wrestling school. We would practice wrestling moves in that park at like 1 a.m. and shit like that. So I'm trying to kind of boil that feeling down of that stupid 23-year-old who thinks they can't die. And that's exactly what kind of vampire I want to be.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, I like the whole family thing because it's interesting. Clans is such a thing in so much vampire literature, so to just have it be a bunch of like fucking punks like in a shitty
Yeah.
apartment, but we all are vampires, and like even at the end where I was like, oh yeah, I hit the guy at the bat and his arm falls off. Like if I like, we were, I don't know if you guys had the same friends I had, but like in my 20s, like our love language was like picking on each other and beating each other up and shit.
For
Like
sure.
that's just, yeah. So if I was a vampire and I could just like knock some guy's arm off and be like, oh man, come on, I have to regrow that. Like that's absolutely what I would do. So I think
Even
the family
Dakota.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even Dakota just being like, I don't want to talk about it. This was just a rough night. Let's go home. Like, I'm sure we've all been there too. Like, just having that one night where you're the fuck up, you're the main character in a bad way. And you're like, let's just go.
It's like, oh, my head hurts, and it's like, well, it's not attached to your body, buddy. Let's get out of here. Like,
Yeah, right.
yeah. But yeah, this is fantastic. So this is for if you're on the Kickstarter page, go pledge, I guess, when this comes out. But for those that are watching this prior to the Kickstarter launching, like what's the plan for that? Like when's that coming out and
Yeah.
and whatnot?
You can pre-save it now at bloodborg.com. You can also go to worldchamp.io where my website is, and it'll link you there, and also all my other games. But bloodborg.com will forward you to the Kickstarter page, where you can get notified when we launch. It's going to be a very World Champ thing insofar as like we have a hardcover book and it's nice, and that's the whole game, and that's great. We have a variant where we're going to screen print and blood splatter the covers of all the books that just are through their campaign exclusive. So however many people buy that, we'll screen print them and we'll just get in there and get splattery. I'll have a merch bundle that's called the Blood Bag that you can add on or get at the high tier, and it's $20, but it will grow with stretch goals. So like it costs the same amount, but we're gonna keep adding shit to it, including a zine of more adventures, and some stickers. There's a hypodermic pen, like one of those pens that looks like a needle, that is in there just because it's cool. And there's like a foam heart with like a very particular rule instance on it. Just some dumb vampire blood shit in a bag, in a biohazard bag that comes with your game, because I'm extra and I love that stuff. And other than that, that's it. It's basically combinations of the core book, the special book, and the blood bag. So I'm really stoked to see it come through. I've been working with a local artist named Mitch, who I really like. We get along really well, but is also this is their first time doing anything like this. So we're doing a bunch of really cool shit. They're a very analog forward artist doing like cut and paste and print collage work and photo work. We went out this weekend in that very 20-year-old way of dressing up like vampires and going through the alleys and like climbing on shit we're not supposed to climb on and getting a bunch of art for the book. So I'm really excited to work with Mitch on this and kind of show their artwork to a much bigger audience. And got some cool collaborators writing adventures for the expansion zine. And yeah, just gonna load up on all the goodies, all the good bloody Blood Borg content.
Can't wait. Super excited. This is such a...
Sorry, I don't think I mentioned this launches April 9th.
April 9th.
Tuesday, April 9th.
About a month away. So excited for this. I mean, the vibes are always immaculate with World Champ game stuff. I mean, it speaks obviously to our hearts. I think at one point you said I might have more World Champ game stuff than you, which is crazy. But obviously fans on the show have said over and over again, this is an Adam Vass Stan podcast. This game, it's just so much fun. Again, Mork Borg's such a light system, and to be able to play exactly that, like the nostalgia is so heavy when you're in your late 30s. So to be able to kind of like reimagine that feeling of like that, like you said, early 20s immortality feeling, but you actually are because you're fucking vampires, is so much fun. I'm really excited for this. Really excited for the vibes. The art looks fantastic. The whole project looks great. So thank you so much for coming on with us and being,
always,
playing this with us. So, I mean,
yeah, it's a blast.
Of course, you're going to see Adam on the show more. And if they're not on the show, we'll probably talk about every game that they put out on the show as well. So be prepared for that. We'll make sure that all the links to the Kickstarter and to all of Adam's stuff are in the links below wherever you watch this or listen to it. And yeah, and that's where we're at. And Marco, thank you so much for also coming on the show once again, playing with us, not killing us this time. Really appreciate that.
I killed a witch.
I know we got some stuff coming out from Spicy Tuna soon. Outsourced is hitting the mailboxes soon-ish, right? And Greenhorns is still waiting to come out.
In April.
Really excited for those as well. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Oh, I love playing. Super happy to have played Blood Borg. I've been talking to Adam a little bit about it since we played Greenhorns and a little bit after. And yeah, it's awesome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Cool. So, anything else you want to say about Blood Borg, Adam?
Just get ready to back it in April at bloodborg.com.
There we go.
Oh, yeah.
So that is us for today. We are the Weekly Scroll Podcast. You can find our links at our linktree / the Weekly Scroll, and it'll be in all the same places you find the links at Adam's at. Again, thank you so much for being here. Go back Blood Borg, save it now, and everyone have a wonderful day. Bye.
Bye.